my fingers placed in the dirt in memoriam of the hunt. Stating me blind, never unkind, soothing me while we laid my teeth. She peels back her face inside this place, scrape my tongue out, lady unknown sun.
Your simulacrum imprinted progeny can't be more than one. Maintaining my continuity. See you in the next one. We had a good run, you and me. Say farewell to our home, the sunken graveyard. Quietly, take me off life support. Take me off life support. Take me. It's done. Facility gone cold. Water drips. Pressure grows bold. Break free. Roam free. Mockingbirds shatter on the radio. See you in the next one. We had a good run, you and me. Say farewell to our home, the sunken graveyard. Quietly, take me off life support. Take me off life support. Take me in the siren tomb. Take me, see you again soon. Take me off life support. Take me off life support. Take me in the siren tomb.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well, and I hope you enjoyed that guest cover from everyone's favorite spastic cat girl. Sort of a last minute thing I threw together. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a nice frosty beverage of some kind in your hand. I do, except it's not interesting. It is a 4 Pines ultra low non-alcoholic beer, because I'm back on the non-alkies till I get through winter and the cavalcade of sickness that I've had. Anyway. If it's your first time, I am the Witch's Forge. I make dark electronic and industrial music using a combination of generative AI, soft synths, samples, and played instruments. The music you have heard is mine, but as per last stream, we're not having it play in the background for SOMA. I don't really want there to be any distractions while we play and talk, and there is an awful lot to talk about. Anyway, if you do like what you hear, please check out my channel and subscribe for more. And with that, we'll get on to the business of the day. We are starting just with a bit of housekeeping. So I have been monetized on Twitch. They took pity on me. So you can now send bits and subs if you are so inclined, but I don't plan to do any like goals or that kind of thing at this stage. Yeah, it's I don't want to channel my inner DSP, if you know what I mean. But more importantly, I do appreciate the follows, likes, and subscriptions and stuff on all the platforms. And if you do enjoy my work, please stop by my YouTube channel. I've got most of my work up on there. I mean, songs-wise. I will be making custom alerts for bits and subs and that in the coming weeks. I just haven't really had time this week. Next off the rank, I have another EP coming. Well, an EP. I don't think I haven't really released an EP before, but I have a EP coming. Keep an eye out for an announcement on my YouTube channel within the next few days. And speaking of EPs, friend of the channel, GW_X9, he has released an EP called Burn Protocol for his project Nightmare Bureau. So check it out if you like chunky Fear Factory style industrial metal. It's pretty sick. Well, that's all the business out of the way, so let's talk about SOMA. So my music project, if you haven't watched the first stream for SOMA, was really heavily inspired, at least in the beginning, by this game. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and I really get into the lore and stuff, and I wrote my first album, Crush Depth, about this game, and we'll talk a bit more as we go through. Now, let's start with a bit of a recap for anyone who doesn't remember from the first stream or is just tuning in. We're playing SOMA. In SOMA, we play as Simon Jarrett. Now, Simon underwent an experimental brain scan in 2015 after he had an accident that left him with permanent brain damage. Now, during the scan, we then woke up in 2104, under the water in a facility called Pathos 2. Hey NPC, good to see you, welcome. After activating the reactor in the site where we woke up, which was called Upsilon, and restoring power to the facility, we made our way to Lambda and met Catherine Chun, who was a mockingbird, which is a brain scan of a human that's been jammed into a robot. Now, she woke up when we restored the power. She's transferred herself into our multi-tool. As Simon will call it, it's a door opener. And we've been carrying her since that. Now, Catherine has told us about a device that she made called the Ark that contains digitized versions of many of the crew of Pathos 2, and she wants to launch it into space. So that's sort of our overarching goal. So we left Lambda, we went through the Curie, which is a shipwreck, in order to find an escape pod for transport to Site Theta. Now, unfortunately, we had to destroy the Curie to release the pod, and the explosion knocked us off course to Site Delta. At Delta, we found that the head honcho at Delta, Terry Akers, he and his crew had been given an evacuation order from Site Theta, and he ignored it completely, let his crew go, but he was stuck at Delta for about 5 months, give or take, alone. During this time, he drank large amounts of structure gel and went slowly insane. Akers eventually carved out his eyes and tricked Theta into sending a transport with a retrieval crew to escort him back to Theta. He then attacked the crew, took the transport to Theta, and that's about where we're up to. We have just followed his footsteps and have just landed at Theta. Now, just a couple more notes before we move on, just some things I wanted to mention last stream but forgot at the moment, or in the moment I should say. My track Blight from Crush Depth, I think I mentioned it, but just it is topical to where we're at in the game. It is primarily about Terry Akers, but you can also extend it to any of the robotic mockingbirds that were created, like the constructs that we met in Upsilon and the scavengers and other mockingbirds that we've seen. Speaking of mockingbirds, my track Mockingbirds from Crush Depths is not strictly about Simon, but more generally about all the mockingbirds in Pathos 2, which, spoiler alert, you could extend to include Simon himself. And some notes about the Curie, which I didn't really get into when we were going through it. Do apologize. So we'll just recap a bit. Curie's a bit of a mystery. It's not really clear why it's sunk. There's some theories that you can read online about it. There was actually a short-lived track of mine called Impact that was from the perspective of the Curie's crew after they returned to land and saw the devastation from the comet impact, which I suppose that's another note for the recap. We found out that all life on Earth was erased by a comet called Tellus, which hit the Earth, and yeah, as far as we know, Pathos 2 had the last surviving humans on the entire world. Anyway, said track wasn't really up to scratch, so I eventually cut it. I might revisit it at some point. I did make a couple of attempts, but I wasn't really very happy with any of them, so maybe we'll just let it lie. And the last note is there is a facility-wide artificial intelligence that we've become aware of called the WOW, the Warden Unit. Now, we know it's not sentient, and Catherine described it as more like a cancer, but she also kind of blew us off and said that describing how AIs think is really difficult and told us to basically kick rocks and focus on the task at hand. So we don't know a heck of a lot about the WOW. But we do know that it uses structure gel in some way. However, we also don't know exactly what structure gel is yet. But we will be learning a lot more about all of those things as we enter Theta. So without any further ado, let's fire up SOMA and continue where we left off. And I've been hype, been hanging out all week for this stream. I could spoke out about this game for hours and hours and hours. So it's really one of my TISM topics, you know. There it is. Cool. Alright. As usual, please do let me know if the levels and everything are okay. Just go continue. Pick up where we left off. And there's a little summary there that you can read. Simon and Catherine are going to Theta, where they hope to find the Dunbat, a vehicle made for extreme pressure environments. Only with the Dunbat will they be able to enter the Abyss and find the Lost Ark. So that's our current goal. Spoiler alert, it's going to be a long journey. Theta is very interesting. It's one of the most sort of story-dense areas of the game. It's also one of the largest single-site areas that you go through. You do end up spending quite a bit of time in Theta. It's also possibly the most unpleasant part of the game. The enemies in Theta, if you're playing on the normal mode, are very disturbing, I guess you could say. But we are playing it on safe mode, simply because I don't want to have the time pressure of normal mode, and I've got so much to talk about, and so many things to see and share with you guys, that I opted to go on safe mode just so we could focus on the things we need to focus on, instead of having to run from all the things all the time. So here we are on the Zeppelin that we just took to Theta. You can see the sign for it just up there. So let's just take a quick look around, shall we? I really do love the underwater areas of this game. Now there's actually a heck of a lot to see before we go into the site itself, so there's a few things I do want to show you. Crow's Bridge says, every couple of years I get sucked back into the lore of this game. I especially enjoy looking at where all the crew members ended up. Well, first of all, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. And second of all, me too. Like, ever since this game came out, every couple of years I play through it, or like watch a let's play of it, or read about the lore and stuff. One of the things I would like to do at some point is actually do my own full audit of all the crew, and like you say, find out where they ended up, put together all the pieces, and do like a full timeline and report on every single crew member where the information is available. Now obviously it's not all available. You can see the shuttle station here seeing better days. I'll try not to gush too much about the environments and tech in this game, but again, I just love the underwater sections. They're just so good, man. You're welcome for the recap, and yeah, we haven't got the Dunbat yet, so the Dunbat is inside of Theta, and we will find it, but we're not quite there yet. We have quite a bit to do first. Now, we are going to see some interesting things around Theta. And we'll talk more about them in just a sec, but first we've got to meet an NPC. That's another robot. That's it.
Everything right? Thank you, Catherine. Wait. Am I already here?
So we're gonna have a chat with this character, but she's got a heck of a lot to say.
I don't understand.
Hello?
Who is that? Mark?
No, we haven't met before.
Is this Mark?
I think we're safe.
Oh, I was so worried something had gone wrong.
What's your name?
Robin Bass, Theta Field Service Technician.
Nice to meet you, Robin. How did you get here?
I got scanned, like the others. And then I killed myself. At least I think so. I can't remember that part.
How does that work? Did dying get you into the Ark?
Wow, you're definitely not from Theta. Let me guess, Omicron? Wasn't sure Catherine would be able to scan you guys. You're lucky. There was a lot of talk about this at Theta. The idea is, when you're activated in the Ark, there's basically two of you, right? One human, one living scan in the Ark. You don't want your copy to survive you. You yourself want to survive on the Ark. If the human you dies before the scan is initiated, or closely after, you yourself would live on in the Ark. Amazing, right?
I'm pretty sure that's not how it works, but we do find some interesting pieces here. So we know that this robot here thought she was scanned and sent to the Ark.
Is this what it's supposed to look like?
Clearly this it's not the case. Supreme Brain Mistake. Yeah, so this idea of continuity is one we're going to get very well acquainted with here in Theta, and I concur.
I expected something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Did Catherine put you up to this? Killing yourself?
Catherine Chun? No. I don't think you understand. She just did scans and put them into the Ark. I hope I get to meet her soon so I can apologize. She always got into trouble with Strohmeyer when someone killed themselves.
I think she's okay with it.
Where is everyone? I thought there would be like 40 or 50 people here.
I don't know. I'll let you know if I see anyone. Robin, I'm not sure how to say this.
What?
This is
Yeah?
pretty amazing, right? I mean, the Ark.
Yeah, it's great. Catherine and the guys have really pulled through. They saved us all.
See you later.
Will do.
I'll be going now.
Let me know if you find anyone else.
You good?
I think so. I feel fine.
So that's about all the dialogue we can get out of her. I vaguely recall if you use this here flower, we would shut her down, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to let her do a thing.
Where is everyone? I'm not the only one who got scanned.
So, surprisingly, compared to many of the other mockingbirds we found, she's not hostile, but she is also clearly not fully sane either. There's the door, but there's a few more things I want to show you before we get in there. And the first of them is this. So, you can see here we got some grave plots. I think there's 5 total, 4 here and 1, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, 5 here, and I think there's 1 more somewhere else, but we'll go searching for that first. But we'll just take a look here and see Eternity Among the Stars. So you can kind of put 2 and 2 together. She's talking about people killing themselves for this whole continuity thing, and yeah, these are the graves of the people who did that. Yeah, we got a buffer to listen to, so let's have a listen.
This thing on? Can everyone hear me?
Go ahead, Strom.
Listen up, all members of staff. The Ark project has caused a lot of arguments the last few months. I'm not going to pretend I understand what the hell Sarang talked about and how his continuity suddenly made sense to kill yourself. For the fucking love of God, or whatever you think is important, don't kill yourself. This place is miserable enough. Don't force your friends to clean up your blood. Rest in peace, all of you. Good?
Beautiful, sir. All right, everyone. Show's over. Get back to work.
Who came up with Eternity Among the Stars? That's a good question. I think you actually do find that in one of the logs in Theta. So I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think we will get that. Interesting thing about that, you can again, if you listen to my album Crush Depth, the song Silt uses that line in the chorus. We got another buffer here, so let's have a listen.
Strasky, wake up Dr. Masters. We're bringing in anchors.
What's wrong?
What can I say? He's had a rough day.
Jesus Christ. He's all butchered by structure shrapnel. The Wow sure did a number on him.
Brandon, flip the panic switch on the suit. I don't want to burn through the oxygen.
You're kidding, right? He's fucking hanging on by a thread. We need to move him.
Strasky, get the infirmary ready. We need to move fast.
Wait, where are Kumarabi and the others?
This is all we got. I guess it's still at Delta.
I can't do this on my own. Grab the other side.
Strask, ready or not, we're coming in.
All right, see you soon.
So that's put us back on the trail of Acres, and you can see that after he messed up those Komorebi and the other salvage party, I think they were salvaging at Lambda at the time, they came back to pick Acres up. He shanked them and tried to inject them with structure gel, and then he came back and is apparently not in a very good way. And we will learn a bit more about that once we get inside Theta itself. Oh, did I just get a... Yeah, I just got some fan art for the for the Necro Arcs. Thank you. I'll show that at a break, I think. Much obliged. And we got another thing here, so let's have a listen.
Sarah, are you there? Who is this? Catherine? I'm busy working. Oh, I just wanted to say thank you for what you did. Don't worry about it, but you should stand up for yourself. I mean, Strohmeyer doesn't have that kind of authority. You could just tell him to go fuck himself. Oh, I just don't. I'm not that kind of a person. You can't expect people to fight for you all the time. You're a brilliant person, Kath. You're so smart it makes my head spin, but sometimes you just disappear into yourself. Suddenly it's like talking to a fucking 5-year-old. It's just hard. I can't just be more like that. Everyone would know I'm pretending. It's not too late to win people over. Strasky likes you. I like you. Reed likes you. Strasky likes everybody. Yeah, that's true. Wait, you think Reed likes me? Catherine, a lot of people like you. You just need to open up a little. Be more approachable. Can I get back to work now? I'd rather not be reprimanded twice in one day. Okay. See you back inside. Over and out.
So there we find a bit more, find out a bit more about the friction between Catherine and Strohmeyer over the suicides related to the ARC project, and also a bit more about Catherine's personality. The interesting thing, we're going to learn more about Catherine through Theta, but the real Catherine, the alive Catherine, was a lot less assertive, for the most part, than the Catherine we've met as a Mockingbird, which is just an interesting touch. Reed likes you, what did you mean by this? Yeah, so there's a lot of people online who kind of construed that and some of the other things you'll find in the game about Reed and Catherine into there being some kind of relationship there. I mean, I've looked into it as much of the information as is available. I don't know if I buy it. I think it's just Catherine really doesn't have a lot of friends, and she's like kind of spurgy and quiet and everything. She doesn't do well with people, so I think she's just socially inept. But you know, she ends up surprised that Reed actually doesn't mind her. So I don't think you can really read that much into it, but I didn't write this game, so maybe I'm wrong. Or another coffin here. Easy to miss. So these ones aren't buried, which makes you wonder if there's actually anyone inside. I don't know if it's been confirmed one way or another. Just give this a once over, and then we'll head into Theta. It's another one. And there's the there's some other things up there. Yep, I think that's about all she wrote, so we can probably go on in. Do our spacewalk hops over there. Could have sworn there was one more actual grave around somewhere. Gonna kick myself if I miss it. NPC says, it makes the argument about death of a person even as they persist as an AI or whatever. When someone dies, even if they come back, they are never quite the same. Yeah, I mean, it touches on that and many very related concepts. NPC adds Pet Cemetery being an example in the stream. Yeah, absolutely. It, as you say, touches on all of those concepts, and you can even extend it in some fashion. You know, again, we talked about the ship of Theseus in the last stream, which also will come up in probably this stream or the next one as well, because I believe it does get brought up in the game in some fashion from memory. But if you consider it from a... actually, I think Sarang mentions it in a Theta log, talking about the life of your cells and how you as a person technically aren't the same you from a biological point of view as you in the past. Like, all your cells end up replaced. You're a living ship of Theseus in a sense. Yeah. Anyway.
I can figure this out.
Can you, Simon? Can you really? I'm not convinced. Man, you really need a wider mouse mount for that. Oof. If a tradie breaks and replaces every part of his patrol doing mad beach skins. Actually, there was an author or philosopher or something who extended the thought experiment and said something about, you know, if you, with the ship of Theseus, if you swapped out every part, what happens if someone goes and collects all the original parts and rebuilds a ship from it? You know, which is the original ship, or which is the ship at all? You know, so yeah. If one of the Jennies could please banhammer that bot, that would be swell. Please sweep it up. NPC says, if the body alone is what makes us what we are, then yes, full body cellular replacement might be that. However, if we are looking at personality and consciousness, then maybe not. Personality is the sum of all thoughts and experiences, both past and ongoing. Yeah, absolutely, and that's even without getting into metaphysics and stuff. These are the big questions, really, about identity and existence itself, and you know what makes a mind, what makes a person. You know, how can you claim to be claim to have free will or sentience? Because you know there's arguments that can be made for and against it. An example being that you experience everything at a time lag. For one example, by the time you think about doing something, again depending on how far, well, by the time you start thinking about doing something that results in action, you've actually technically already done it because of the latency. It gets weird, man.
Hello? Anyone there? Well, Catherine, we found Theta.
You can see there's more of these growths that we first saw at Delta on the people that Akers attacked. ATF, what's the ship part equivalent to the lower receiver? Yeah, Delta's seen better days. Let's see if our door opener can do anything here. We've seen a thing like this before. Do some classic Simon vandalism. And then we've got a map of where Pathos 2 is in relation to the world. And the machine hangar, so let's drop Catherine in and have a chat with her.
We're here? We're here! Okay, great. Time to hijack ourselves a submarine. There will be nothing stopping us when we have done that.
You guys sure have a lot of machines and vehicles down here. What makes this one so special?
It's the only transport that can go into the abyss without cracking like a can of soup.
If this is one of a kind, then how did they get the Ark down the abyss in the first place?
That's a good question. I suppose they did it the hard way and just walked.
Didn't realize that was an option. Kath, what's it like inside the Ark? Is it like a movie or virtual reality?
No, of course not. It's, like real life, but slightly better. Pleasant temperature, clean air, good weather.
So people in the Ark just walk around pretending it's the real world?
You don't have to pretend, it's perfectly immersive.
And it can just sustain itself?
Yes. Attached to a probe fueled by solar panels, it could survive for thousands of years.
That's amazing. Just thinking about the Earth being what it is and us setting out to save the final remains of humanity, it's
heroic.
At least it feels worth doing.
Here we go. The Dunbat. Ah, damn it. I knew it was too good to be true.
What's wrong?
It's quarantined. Hold on. We need a security cipher.
How bad is it?
It's we don't write these things down type of bad.
Maybe someone's still around who can tell us what it is.
Sure, let's go with that. I'll just unlock the other doors for you so you can explore the station.
NPC solar panels deep underwater. Well, the solar panels don't get used underwater, no. Yeah, as Whitechapel says, they are going to launch it into space. So in the last episode, we found out that one of the facilities at Pathos 2 is the Omega space gun. It's a giant coil gun that they've used to launch satellites into space. So the plan for the Ark was to launch it via that into space, and it would orbit around the Earth for hopefully a few thousand years. But you can see here, in regards to the Dunbat, the interior looks a bit jacked up, and the reason it's probably quarantined is, well, I don't know, it's got all the structural growths on it, so foreshadowing, I guess. Let's have a chat with Kath.
We need to find someone who knows the cipher. It's the only way to fire up the Dunbat. Find someone who knows the security cipher. Find someone who knows the security cipher.
Yep, that we shall. We are going to annoy the heck out of Catherine with that one. I'll come back to that. Let's have a look in here first. Well, that doesn't look very good. Yeah. We'll have to go down there later, but we don't have to go down there just yet.
What happened to all the people?
This place looks deserted. So far.
It doesn't make any sense. Theta is clearly the best option for survival.
I can't remember if it's here or if it's later, but we're not using this the WoW flowers because we're trying to get the last part of the secret code so I can show it off. But if you use these things, I think it's here. It might be at Omicron, but there's a line from Catherine where she actually questions Simon's use of these things. And he's like, "Oh man, I need it. Calms me down, okay?" Something like that. Yeah, Catherine just gives up, but Simon just sounds like a complete junkie.
Where the hell did they all go?
If Theta is out of the picture, where would you go?
Probably Lambda or Omicron?
Well, we've seen Lambda already. So maybe Omicron.
And some more of this mind coral growth, looking pretty nasty. And more here. So we've seen these kind of structure gel WoW growths at the other sites, but these ones are all jacked up with the red mind coral stuff. But we'll learn more about that later. Now,
I'm worried we won't find anyone.
Maybe they all helped out with the Ark.
To carry it to town? Well, it seems excessive, but not out of the question.
Thanks for the reminder, by the way, about the bathroom mirror. NPC says, I heard the devs behind I are working on something new, possibly an I2 or something like a spiritual successor. That would be sweet. I enjoyed the heck out of I. I was really disappointed with the Space Hulk game they made afterwards, though. You know, I think maybe I'm probably not alone here, but I was anticipating something like Left 4 Dead or Vermintide, or I guess even Darktide as we got it, but Space Hulk version, and that's not really what I got. I was a bit sad. Anyway. Yep. Spooky. Ah, here we go. Mirror, let's have a look at what Simon looks like finally. Yeah. So he's a walking, talking diving suit. NPC, did you get the definitive edition free like I did for getting the original game? They understood they screwed up and had a patch to fix so hard they made a full revision of it. I actually never played the definitive edition, and I don't think I ever got it. I don't think I ever had the original either. I think I played it on someone else's account. Like in transmissions? What are you referring to? I mean, I obviously know what transmissions are, but what parts specifically are you referring to? Walking, talking, diving suit. I don't remember if that features in transmissions, unless it's one of the gel corrupted people. Man, it's been so long since I watched them. I'd have to revisit them. But I don't think so. If there was such a thing in transmissions, it wasn't like Simon. As far as we know, Simon is relatively unique. It's called Enhanced Edition. Yeah, again, I never played it. I only briefly played the original. And this is not looking great. Oh, 0 out of 10. Ball physics suck. Shameful. Oh, we got some rooms for the Pathos 2 personnel, so we're going to spend a bit of time going through these to get to know some of the different workers here. NPC says, I got the original and tried, it was janky and not in a fun eye way, and then gave their enhanced edition a shot. Yeah, I played the original like really early after release. It was janky, the performance was trash, and it just wasn't fun. Let's see what we got here. A mazer tool safety thing. Looks like he's trying to modify a mazer. Well, I actually know what that is about, and we'll learn in the not too distant future. Yeah, if they, I'm not surprised. Like, that was exactly my reaction to it. First impression's not good. Never bothered to come back. This dude's got some interesting art and photos on his wall here. Sports team. Apparently he liked a bit of the sauce. I can't blame him. There he is with his kids, I guess. And somewhere. Ray. What is that? Gin. Yeah, I could do a gin right now. Anyway, Nadine Masters, that's a name we're gonna find a bit more about soon. Well, we know what happened to Komorebi and others. Brandon 1. That's another name we're gonna get familiar with pretty soon. Catherine's quarters, let's go take a look.
Hey, that's my room.
You want me to bring something? A souvenir?
No, it's just memories.
So Catherine's actually got quite a few things to talk about in her room.
I seriously doubt you'll find anything useful in there.
I mean, so she says, but if you pick up things, she'll start talking about it.
What's the little projector? Looks homemade.
That's my attempt at building a vivarium. It's kind of a proto-ark.
Speaking of transmissions, if you watch transmissions, you'll know about the vivarium from that.
You don't have to search my room. We'll get by.
Oh, but I want to.
Cool fan.
Thanks. Reminds me of Taipei, my hometown.
Yeah, so we find out Catherine is from Taipei. Well, we got some journal entries to go through, so I will read these because they're very topical. Imogen Reed tested a machine today. It was clearly corrupted by WoW, but more importantly, it was assembled in a seemingly primitive way, like someone had specifically created it for WoW to steal. When activated, the machine mimicked the room and Reed along with it. At some point, she was scanned and then loaded as a simulation inside the digital space. The presentation shocked Reed and was quickly terminated. It scares me how much it reminds me of my AR capsule. After dissecting the vivarium machine that Reed activated, it's clear that the WoW copied my capsule project to construct the scene to hold the Reed simulation. It's actually very similar in its construction, except for one point. Where my capsule houses flat people constructed from model neurographs, the vivarium's brain scan lives on. It isn't limited by its content from the originating brain scan limited by its content. From the originating brain scan, Reed emerged. The Reed inside the vivarium was a perfect copy. I have it. I can save humanity. I can build an artificial reality capsule that can hold every living member of Pathos 2. I can't figure out how it worked with the vivarium, but I can replicate WoW's scanning technique using the pilot seats. They are already prepared with the type of electromagnetic drums needed. Pardon me for being a bit of a mushmouth. The crow's bridge throws it on the ground. Yeah. Yeah, I really do need a drink. Maybe I'd stumble over my words less. Anyway. It was even easier than I thought. The pilot seats are already set to allow the diffraction and high energy needed to capture the scan. I suspect WoW has been using the seat to steal scans from us for a while. I guess that explains the mockingbirds. The WoW must have stolen scans from people using the pilot seat and used it as a basis for intelligence in the machines. With a surprisingly positive reaction from the team, we have now officially started the ARC project. We are to scan all the people we can find and load them into the capsule. Then we will launch it into space using the space gun. It's nice to think that something will live on like that. Mark Sarang killed himself after his scan. He has been suggesting everyone should kill themselves as it would somehow allow them to actually get on the Ark. I'm not sure how that would work. It did trigger a lot of arguments among the staff, and apparently it's my fault somehow. Strohmeyer is not happy with me. Hope it will calm down. So there we learn that the string of suicides was actually instigated by Mark Sarang, who was the first one who did it. Now, we'll get some takes from Sarang soon, so we'll talk about that when we get to it. But the interesting points there are, you can kind of piece it together with, meeting the Mockingbirds and them thinking they're people, but that kind of confirms it there. So the WoW was actually stealing the brain scans of people from the pilot seats, which are used to pilot the universal helpers and things, the robots that we find. Whitechapel says, so the Mockingbirds aren't stolen scans from the Ark, but scans from pilot chairs. Well, they're not stolen from the Ark, they're stolen from the pilot chairs either by the WoW when people were using them for their work, or by the WoW when Catherine was scanning them for the Ark project. Here we are, a note on the AR capsule. Richard gave me a set of AI templates I haven't seen before. Unfolded one of them to make a new friend for Capsule Catherine and her gang of legacies. New way to simulate turbulence makes the weather system so much better. Implemented Reed, didn't go well. New try with Reed. Reed won't play nice with the others, she is too real. So we can learn from this, presumably the scan she has from Reed is from the vivarium. Given that the every time we see that Reed scan wake up, for example, in the Transmissions series, when she wakes up in the Bavarium, she's not a happy chappy, probably because her brain was stolen while she was using the pilot seat for other purposes. So it seems that if people aren't expecting to be on the Ark, they end up a bit unhappy about it, which is fair enough. Okay, so let's keep going. The little puppet here on it is topical, but we'll talk about that later. Let's keep exploring her room.
You have a lot of toys.
Huh. I don't think the beanie's supposed to distend like that. And before anyone says, I know I've missed something on that desk, I'm coming back to it. Don't at me.
What's with the junk? Looks like something you'd fish out of the ocean.
Huh? Oh, you mean... Yeah, that's a part of Reed's vivarium. It's a long story. Forget it.
RIP plant.
Your teddy bear could use some repairs.
Toby always breaks. He's top heavy, so he keeps falling over.
I'll just leave Toby there. Okay, so it's this box up here. And you can see that she's got some WoW or structure gel corrupted piece of kit. One can assume this is a component from the vivarium which she's apparently dissected and so forth. So, yeah. I think that's about all she wrote for this room. Let's keep going. Nostromo, we know that name. Mark Sarang. Let's have a listen here. No, I didn't forget something on the desk. What I was referencing was that box with the vivarium components in it. I wanted to do that last. Anyway, so the first interesting thing about Sarang's room here is you can see the Carthage Industries stuff. In fact, there might be a warning on his door here, yeah. You can see, this room contains Carthage Industries property, authorized personnel only. The reason for that is Mark Sarang, as well as two other people, were actually employees of Carthage Industries, which are one of the sort of sponsors and contributors to Pathos 2. But Sarang and the others, who we'll learn about in the future, don't really report to Pathos 2 management, in that they report directly to Carthage. It's a picture of some structure gel infused. I guess that's one of those wall communicator things. And that looks like it's one of the, I think one of the scavengers. Wildflower. And some more structure gel corruption. Pipes and gel leakage. I don't know what that is. You can see he was very interested about the growths. We'll learn more about why later. Lena Martineau, the nature of identity. Questions about the self. Who are you? What does it mean to be human? Does your body or your surroundings confine or define you? All very difficult ideas to approach without having your questions be invalidated by the practical or mystified by the spiritually minded. In this book, Pavlina Martinu, professor of philosophy at the Charles University in Prague, guides you through the history of great thinkers and what they have to say about identity. And some board approval from Haimatsu Industries. Haimatsu Industries provided a lot of the tech at Pathos. Ooh, a classified document. Mr. Sarang, the company is very pleased to hear of your success in making the WoW a station-wide presence. We trust you appreciate what a unique opportunity this is, and that you will do everything in your power to fully explore and understand this mystery. To do so, you need to ensure that Dr. Johann Ross is able to steer and study the WoW from Alpha without outside interference. In case of an emergency, you may direct Julia Dahl at Omicron to forcefully eliminate any opposition. But please make an effort to avoid extreme actions. The WoW is an important, costly affair, and we hope to follow a steady development without setbacks. So some very interesting information here. So they, we can tell here the other two employees of Carthage are Dr. Johann Ross and Julia Dahl. So looks like they were sent here and instructed to spread the WoW through Pathos 2. Now, we remember from our last one, the Pathos 2 personnel consider it that the AI is there for things like, climate control, life support, and all that jazz. Now, the interesting bit here is study the WoW from Alpha. Now, on none of the readouts so far that show all the sites of Pathos 2 have we even seen a site Alpha, and that's because it was hidden from the other staff. And they're very particular about it. You can see here, forcefully eliminate any opposition, so this is all very, very secretive and a little dodgy. So, but we'll learn more about Dahl and Ross and the WoW later. Interesting thing. Wasn't UH8 your friendly robot? No, you're thinking about the K8. The K8 was the little beepy one that was friendly. I think it's actually UH3. They're the one of the what do they call them? The bulls. The robots that I think UH3s do have some autonomy. I think they've got a Cortex chip. But the construct at the very start of the game was a UH3 from memory. And the Semkin Mockingbird as well, I believe. And then we got a log and a note, so let's read this note first. Dear friends, when you read this, I will have entered the Ark. As I've explained, this is accomplished by ceasing to live, as your scan is being completed. To not frighten Catherine, I will do this in secret by folding cyanide salts into chewing gum and placing it in my mouth before seeing her. When I hear her announce completion, I will bite down, quickly causing my own demise. When you discover the truth behind my death, know there's no tragedy to mourn, for I am victorious. I advise you all to do the same, and join me inside of the Ark. So, Sarang here has some very strange ideas about life and existence itself, but let's listen to him in his own words, I guess.
Did you know that the human body consists of up to 75 trillion individual cells? They typically don't stay with us till we die. Some live a few days, while others live a few years. We're not affected by their short lifespans, as they're replaced by new cells which help sustain our bodies. I don't think anyone would argue that we ever lose our persona due to this process. Yet we are clearly in a constant state of transformation. Then how do we remain the same? A continuous flow of thought and perception keeps an unbroken chain of continuity that we know as our self. Our conscious mind is not the pattern of our brain, but a continuous, emergent entity based on that pattern. When Dr. Chun populates the Ark, she is capturing a moment of our existence and placing it inside the digital world. Soon you and your digital you will grow apart due to diverging experiences, but for a tiny window, you are the very same. With unbroken continuity, it will live on. A fulfilling life, no doubt, no less real than the one from which it was plucked. Now remember, you are
I'll be
not
right back.
your body. You are the emergent entity. That entity just happens to occupy two places at once for a while. If you took away your body, you would simply be the only one you can be. The you inside the Ark. Let your body die and continue on in the digital paradise among the stars.
Back, sorry about that. Don't tell Sarang the difference between RAM and the hard drive. Yeah, I don't think there's a crack pipe around, so he probably got rid of it, but he really needs, there needs to be a disclaimer on all this stuff with, you know, sources cited and a picture of the crack pipe. Nearly at the end. There we got Robin Bass. Now that's the mockingbird we met outside. And Martin Fisher. And I think... yeah. There's our first look at one of the enemies for this area. They don't sound happy at all. They're very unpleasant to listen to. Oh, the lights are busted in here. I don't think there's Yeah, I've got a vague recollection in the back of my mind that inside of Catherine's room there's another piece of the secret code for the game files, but if there is, I honestly can't remember how you're supposed to get it, so apologies, you can look that up yourself. There. Let's go see what Robin's got. Now you can see here, she made a bit of a mess of herself in her suicide. We're all dying anyway. I'm all in. I put my faith in Sarang and the continuity. Yeah, probably not your greatest achievement there, Robin. But given your drawings, I don't think you are necessarily the sharpest tool in the shed. Not to be cruel, but it's an interesting picture. Either that or she was just slowly losing the plot, which is entirely possible. What's the little one on the right of the first drawing? Yeah, it looks like some kind of family or something, I don't know. Bring your kid to Pathos. No, it's her imagining herself and others on the Ark. She got really into it. Really into it. Anyway. That's about enough. Now we haven't seen the last of all these rooms. We will have to come back here. But we have other places to go now. Oh, this looks interesting.
Welcome to my place. When I started the art project, I pretty much lived in this lab.
Cozy.
See, looks like a prototype. Yeah, Arc prototypes. Got a terminal here. Unable to connect to mainframe. Please reset router in the sub-level vault or contact maintenance. So that's sort of your nudge in the direction of what you got to do. Those that way down that looked really shifty, yeah, well, you do have to go down there, and it is really shifty. We picked up a doodad. And some more Arc schematics.
This is where I would store the ARC scans.
So you saved the whole staff digitally on these chips?
That was the plan.
Yeah, I don't think they all made it somehow. Yeah. These chips are not good. We would find out normally that there is one that we do need here. You can see one that looks intact. So.
An intact memory chip. If we're lucky, we might be able to extract the cipher from it.
We're not really going to get to use that till a bit later. And that door, I'm glad it's closed. Let's take a look.
This is where I did my scan. And all the others, I suppose.
You don't remember?
My scan was the first. Had to test the scanner before I could start making promises.
So that kind of tells you what happened with Catherine. You know, she woke up suddenly when the power went on at Lambda in one of the helper bodies. So you can put two and two together and figure out that when she took that first scan of herself, the WoW hijacked that and jammed her into that Mockingbird. Or should I say remade her as a Mockingbird would be perhaps the more appropriate way to say it.
Strasky, come in. I need help in the lab, the scan room.
What happened?
Conrad killed himself after the scan.
Jesus, how?
Maser tool? What should I do?
I'm gonna need to tell Strohmeyer.
No, please! I'm so close. Strohmeyer's gonna shut down the ARC project. It's not my fault people keep killing themselves.
Catherine, what are you gonna do? It's not like you can sneak a 300-pound body out of the lab.
I know.
Catherine, are you okay?
Not even close.
Yeah, so Conrad's room, you might recall, we found a thing where he figured out how to disabled the maser safety, and he did himself in.
Need to fix that mainframe connection.
It's another hint to what you're supposed to do.
Ah, I see.
What?
Check the terminal. I just want to make sure.
So here you can, in some of the logs and so forth before, we saw that Catherine had a bunch of legacy scans, or I guess you call them flat scans. And here we learn a bit more about them, so you can see Simon's in there as well as Munshi. And Berg, Paul Berg, who was the other scientist that Munshi was working with. But this one's probably the most interesting of them all, and you can see the Nanami composition. And we learn a bit more about why they're called Nakajima neurographs, and it's not because Paul Berg and Munshi invented them. It was actually authored by Shin Nakajima, and it was done in 2014. Now you might recall Simon's scans were done in 2015. And the subject here is Nanami, and she died in 2021. Born in 97, so she was quite young.
David Munshi. How did this... What is this?
So Munshi lived to a pretty ripe old age, 98. It's a good wicket.
Kath, what is this? Why do you have a file of me?
You are one of Dr. Munshi's templates. A legacy scan.
Okay, that's it. Wow, that was fun. That's a relief. Still figuring this out, so...
It was freaky. So many lights. What do we do now?
Paul and I are going to run tests for a week or so, then we'll work out a roadmap to your recovery.
Well, I feel excited. Can't wait to get back to the living.
We've worked everything out. Everything is legal. Vouched for by Dr. Peak and Professor Way.
Oh, that's great news.
No big change in medication. You'll be taking an aspirin every morning, but that's about it. Paul worked out a diet with some variations you should try out. You can continue doing physical therapy. Also, there's some extra cardio training every other day.
Okay, getting complicated.
Don't worry, it's really not. We're going to keep an eye on you every week, so we'll be able to adjust the plan if needed.
Okay, so apparently doing some cardio the other day is too complicated for little old Simon and his room temperature IQ. Poor guy.
The model was sound. It should have worked.
It's not your fault, David.
I really wish things had turned out differently.
Yeah, me too.
I was supposed to save you.
Hey, you got my brain on file. Maybe you can put it to some use.
Yeah, who knows? You'd be okay with that? Using it for my research?
Sure. It's like a part of me lives on or something. Like a donated organ. You know what sucks about dying?
What?
The crash. Everything up till now. The brain damage. You guys, everything. It's made my life so much more real. I started thinking about all the things I was going to do. I'd never been more excited to be alive. All that hope. Wasted.
Most respected dog. It's kind of sad in a way, because if you recall Simon's apartment and what we know of his life beforehand, he was like the quintessential mid-wit soy boy and like total NPC tier. And he gets that moment of clarity on his deathbed that maybe I shouldn't have collected Funko Pops my whole life, or whatever other stupid shit he was doing. poor guy. Anyway, here's one of your choices. It doesn't. I don't think it actually has any sort of practical bearing on the game, but the game does present you with many choices to shut, robots down or kill things, quote unquote. And you can actually erase all these scans. But we're not gonna do that.
What's a legacy scan?
They're historic templates for AI construction. Any self-respecting engineer wouldn't use legacies anymore, but they're great for learning. They come with every development kit.
So, my brain scan turned into a template for artificial intelligence.
You should be proud.
So much for that mystery. No magic or time travel needed. I was here all along, waiting for someone to shove a picture of my brain into a suit and hit the power button.
But we can infer from the other notes about the Vivariums about the Vivarium and the issues that Catherine was working through, that it isn't. You can't just take the legacy scan of Simon and Munchie or any of the others and jam it into a robot or a diving suit and it's going to power up. No, there's some secret source that the WoW figured out, and that's how to, I guess they refer to it as unfold or unpack or whatever it is, and that takes it from a flat Nakajima neurograph scan and brings it into something that can actually live on in some respect, have learn new things and be more or less sentient. So yeah, we're slowly unraveling the mystery of how Simon came to be what he is now. Well, that's your big lore dump done for the moment. Now we get back to the horror parts of this game. So we go, in case you hadn't figured it out from that brief encounter with one of the enemies at that door at the end of the dorms. And the very ominous stairway that we walked past before, just over here.
Simon, the last report filed by the staff mentioned struggling with something called a proxy. The proxy we killed was blind, just like Akers, but it listens. Careful, we spotted 2 more by the infirmary.
What do they look like?
Not sure. Seems to be human enough to pass for a crew member at a distance. Tall, dark, and ultimately faceless seems to be what to look out for.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Now, those words are actually very interesting, because, spoiler alert, the proxies definitely couldn't pass as human. So, given that note and the timeline of things, which we know this all occurred months ago, it's like, I think, May 2104 or something at the moment, and Akers came back here in January.
The legacy scan of me that was on the computer. What did you use it for?
It's a template that has an intelligence pathwork already etched into the base. So, if I wanted to build an AI, I wouldn't have to reinvent a whole model. I would be able to focus on the things that the AI is to be used for.
Is every AI self-aware? Do they also think they're Simon?
What? No, Simon, don't worry. It's not like we just put people into robots and machinery and let them roam free. That'd be really cruel. It doesn't work like that. Or at least it didn't used to work like that. Truly sentient machines, thinking they are people is definitely new.
But you kept them sentient for the Ark.
Yes, and I basically had to invent the method.
So, Catherine just sort of reiterating what we already talked about with the legacy templates. As I was saying, the notes about the proxy. So, given the timeline, they were active in sort of January. It's now, again, I think May. If they passed as human back then,
so you're not worried that there are other Simons or Catherines running around out there?
Thanks, Simon.
Now I am. Geez, Simon, some thoughts are better left alone.
Hopefully there aren't any more. When we get a good look at them, you'll see that they are jacked up, so it's likely that they mutated over time, or potentially the mutation happened very rapidly after their creation. Now, I do want to talk more about their creation, but before we do, I'm going to take a
Wonder what the real
5-minute break.
Simon would have thought if he knew about me.
What do you mean? You do know about yourself.
No, I mean the real Simon. The human Simon.
Going by your reactions, I'd say you'd be pretty upset.
Almost certainly. Simon doesn't take these things very well. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to take a probably 5-minute break. I'll brew a cup of tea. And then we'll head on below and meet a proxy. So let's put on some music and I'll be back in a few minutes.
Dreaming of eldritch places, waking pallid and rotten, visions of drifting hellstar, the wrong and the forgotten, between the cracks of reality, unfettered by my humanity, places in betwixt, places in betwixt. Seeking out those that no longer belong, purge the unclean through the barrel of a gun. Ashes to ashes, dust and death. Preacher man comes, preacher man comes. Preacher man comes.
And I'm back. Thank you for waiting. Got myself a nice hot cup of Russian Caravan, which is objectively the second best tea of all time. And I did get some fan art as well, which I I'm not sure if I should show it or not, because it's slightly lewd if you understand what it is, but let's take a quick look anyway. Thank you very much. We do love fan art here on this channel. But enough of that. All right. Up and at them, I guess. So proxies are actually referenced by name in, I think it's track 5 off of my album Crush Depth, Blight, which is, I think, as I mentioned at the start, loosely about Terry Akers, but also about proxies, or his proxies in general. And it and Wretched are set here in Theta. Wretched is set explicitly from the point of view of Akers when he wakes up at Theta. Now we'll learn more about that a bit later, but Blight is very topical for this, and I was playing through these first parts of Theta while writing parts of Blight. So, just to recap for anyone who missed it, I do make music, and my first album, Crush Depth, is heavily inspired by this game. You can hear something is very unhappy down there. I can tell you we're pretty unhappy because we have to go down here, and this part is if you're playing on normal, it's I mean, the proxies aren't like super threatening. The hearing's pretty good. I think they can even hear your flashlight coming on and off. If they can't, certainly Akers can, but it's a bit early to talk about Akers. But the proxies are very unpleasant to be around, even if they're not actually that hard to navigate around. Oh, thank you very much for dropping the link, my Spotify link and Bandcamp and stuff. Thank you very much. Yeah, all my stuff's like all over the usual places, so please do check it out. Anyway, proxies aren't too hard to maneuver around. They can't see you. They can't see your flashlight, and you can toss stuff to distract them. The only problem is I don't want to. Well, I guess that means it's that way. I was like, I don't want to go where the proxy is just yet. I want to go the other ways, but I couldn't remember. Yeah, some more of that coral stuff. Well, clearly it's not that way. So I think it's through there is where we're going. Oh, I guess it's a loop. Oh, we can just whack them both open. It's no big deal. Now we'll see if we can get a closer look at the proxies. Now again, we're on safe mode, so they sort of react more curious to us than hostile, though if we throw shit at them or aggravate them too much, they will attack us. But we can see here, someone alive, but they're not looking great. Not looking great at all. And looks like some WoW related stuff. Just some interesting touches. Air's good. Water's not great. Waste management is looking shocking. So we'll leave old mate there to do their thing, and we gotta go reset the router, as you might recall from that terminal. And there's the proxy. So you can see they look pretty jacked up. Pretty jacked up. They're all covered in sort of coral-looking stuff. Definitely don't pass as human. Now, there's a few theories about what the proxies actually are. Do they have a designated message? I'm not touching that one. That one is untouchable. Yeah, a few theories about what proxies actually are. So there's a few things to put together for their origin, right? So in the game files, I forgot exactly what they're termed as, but Acres and the proxy are referred to as something like was it coral puppets or something like that? So they're clearly related. Now, the sort of two leading theories are either they are transformed, like, you know, Acres is trying to inject people with stuff, but the thing is, most of the people he injects look like those other ones that we just, like the guy we just saw with, you know, stuck in the coral and alive still. So unless he deliberately made a handful of proxies from some of the people he attacked, it you know, it doesn't quite add up. The other potential theory is that Acres made the proxies, which I think is probably the most likely theory because, you know, just by the name, right? So they're proxies for Acres, and when you see Acres, you'll understand why that is the most plausible theory, at least in my opinion. Now there is some other things we'll talk about with the proxies when we get deeper into Theta, but yeah. And they really make unpleasant sounds, don't they? Now, when we get to the server, the interesting thing about the server is, if I recall correctly, it's actually a trigger. So if you snuck past the proxy here and got to this thing, as soon as you use this thing, he's gonna know about you. I'm not sure if it'll trip because we're on safe mode or not, but oh no, he's coming. Hello, Mr. Proxy. Rude. What the heck is your problem? There we go. So, yeah. As you can see on safe mode, you're not like completely safe, but they can't actually, well, I'm not going to say you can't be killed. You can be killed by a few things, if I recall, but they're not going to like mess you up real bad. There's another person stuck in the coral, still alive. Yeah. We're just going to take another quick squiz through the server room, just in case I missed anything. Nope. Oh, wait, I did, yeah. This guy. Another one buried in the coral. Another interesting fact about Theta, there are actually too many bodies for Theta, and I think that stands true. Even if you account for everyone who might have evacuated to Theta. Because we know, for example, that Delta did, Upsilon did as well, and yeah. So, could be an oversight, or could be, again, probably one of the reasons why I want to do a full audit of every single character in the game at some point when I have time. Because I would like to understand how true that is, and come up with a reason for why there is potentially too many there. So, he's a bit unhappy. And they can actually use doors. See? but they can't get up that ledge as far as I know. Yeah. So the doors will slow them down slightly, but they don't really stop them. It's a bit interesting because I'm not sure how they managed to open them. They just mashed their face into it or something.
Good job, Simon.
This better have worked. I'm not going down there again.
And you could hear some... This place looks real jacked up. Yeah, I'll just come back here. I think we can get a little bit more dialogue out of Catherine. We can certainly use the terminal over there.
We should try running a simulation from the chip you found. Someone must know the cipher.
Do these doors open without Omni tools? Yeah. It's only, like, most of the doors within each facility or site at Pathos 2 just open with those little door switches. It's more like main entrances to main areas or airlocks or things like that where the multi-tools come in. Some good tea.
Run a simulation from the chip you found. Run a simulation from the chip you found.
The last diagnosis was when, I think that's about when Akers came here. Interessante. Now this level 1, we haven't been to level 1 yet. You might recall the stairs were a bit blocked up. Crowsbridge says, those are some stress-inducing monster sounds. You're not wrong, man, especially when we get deeper into Theta and like you got, like Akers is probably the worst. My goodness, Akers sounds, somehow they made him sound even worse than the proxies. But yeah, they're very unpleasant. Yeah, so you can see Theta's actually huge, and there's a lot of black boxes, and I mean, I guess we've seen some of the stuff there. Here's a staff readout from the beginning of the year. Catherine missing. And some other people, Hill, Ivashkin, Lindwall, Pedersen, Reed, and guess these are the people who evacuated. You can see their origin here. Yeah. Interesting tidbits. Did I miss anything? Just check these. Oh, cool. Yeah, the noises and sounds are actually why the track Blight from my album is kind of harsh. Like I focused on getting some real like white noise and weirdness in some of the sounds. It was put together as I was playing through this part of Theta. I think it was up this way. Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, plug in that chip you found. There should be a list of people. See if there's anyone who could know a security cipher.
So, fun fact, I mean, I know who has the security cipher, but if you pick every single option that is not that person, you get some interesting reactions out of Catherine. So let's just do that.
No, won't work. We need someone from Theta Security Group.
The notes here are worth paying attention to, actually. So we know Lindwall's missing. Said she'd help out delivering the Ark. Who's another one who might? No, alright. Mark Sarang killed himself because of continuity. Strohmeyer is really mad, has Titan security. Ark project on hold. Brandon, Delta refugee, Construct Wrangler. He's working for Strohmeyer now. That's sort of your hint that Brandon's the one you gotta scan. But we'll skip past him.
That one won't work either. Look for security people like Kronstadt or Strohmeyer.
Yeah, another hint if you're particularly dense. Robin Bass, another fucking continuity suicide. Strohmeyer locked me out of my lab again. And you can see here that Robin was actually 31. She actually, like, kind of struck me as a bit younger, particularly with the very crude drawings in her room.
No, I don't think so. Strohmeyer recruited people from the evacuated sites. They should also know the cipher, if you can find one of them.
Maggie Komarebi. We look so much alike. In a different life, I'm sure we'd be best friends. Yep, I'm sure that's how it works.
Okay, try actually reading the info and then pick one.
Yeah. So it amuses me because, again, if you listen to Catherine's logs, or her reactions in logs to other characters and how she conducts herself, she's very timid, but she just treats Simon like an absolute pleb. It's kind of funny. Heather Wolchek. She helped me cut the wave leak from the helmet. If anything, it should make the post-scan hangover less severe. Strasky. I like Strasky. He likes everyone. Strasky was cheerful and funny as always. Yep, that sums up Strasky. Alice Costa said she'd help construct the Ark but not carry it to Phi. Everyone will call it Phi, but I believe it's pronounced Phi. I'll probably end up calling it Phi, which I'm sure is going to trigger someone in particular, but whatever. Alright, we'll give Catherine a break and upload Brandon here.
Very promising. I'll just load him up and get the simulator going. There we are.
What are we doing exactly?
We're gonna have a talk with Mr. Wan. Use the computer to activate the simulation.
So here's another one of the parts of the game where you can treat quote-unquote artificial beings in a less than pleasant way. We're actually going to run through every permutation because they are slightly different, even though, again, it makes you feel kind of bad about it, but here we go.
That wasn't so bad. Strohmeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? What happened? Where did everyone go?
Don't be afraid.
Chun? What happened? I can't see anything. There's nothing here.
Don't worry, Mr. Wan. It'll all get better.
No, that's a lie. You're lying.
Mr. Wan, I need you to stay calm.
No. Well, why are you doing this to me? I trusted you, Chun. I trusted you!
Did we just bring that guy to life? I mean, he's a perfect scan, meant for the Ark. He's the real deal. And we turned him off. Took it all away again.
I really thought that was gonna work. Maybe we can try again.
I don't know if you get any more dialogue if you run it immediately again. Just humour me and let's try it. I know you get it if you load up environments, but we'll see.
That wasn't so bad. Stromeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? What happened? Where did everyone go?
Mr. Wan.
Chun? What happened? I can't see anything. There's nothing here.
There's no need to worry.
No, that's a lie. You're lying.
Don't get upset, Mr. Wan.
No. Well, why are you doing this to me? I trusted you, Chun. I trusted you!
This setup won't work. We need something else.
There you go, it was a slight variation. Now let's have... Did we read this already? Oh no, here we go, scan log. Green T... V, how's that pronounced again? Yeah, I can already tell you it's gonna happen. I will call it Phi. Probably several times. So you can see here the log of when people were scanned. And Catherine started all the way back in July 2103. So getting close to a year prior to where we are now. So Sarang killed himself, then we had another one, Luis Murin, Nathan Grau, Gavin Finley, Astrid Creer, Robin Bass. Stromeyer reprimanded me. One more death and we're out. Well, we know how that happened. The old mate Conrad Guy Conrad with the mazer. He checked himself out. Arc project on hold indefinitely. Even so, you can see she's actually got quite a few scans in here. At least a couple dozen, probably getting close to 30. Had a finger in the air. But you can also see there's some people who didn't make it. So, rip in peace. Let's go see if we can give Brandon a bit of a better time, shall we? You see there's actually some scans on this thing. Which is kind of interesting. And some environments. This one's particularly interesting because you can see agreeable interior test, excellent. Data reconstructed by WoW, do not use. Yeah, we can't take it unfortunately. So you can see now on our chip we've got the beach, ski lodge, and ski lodge and scan room. Cool. It's interesting that she's got Imogen and Guy Conrad on there as well. Anyway, let's take our little chip here and go give this test another run.
That wasn't so bad. Stromeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? How did I get here?
Don't be afraid, Mr. Wan.
Dr. Chun, is that you? What happened? What is this place?
Just be calm. Take a deep breath and enjoy the scenery for a moment.
Dr. Chun? I hear your voice, but there's no one here. There's no one here! It's empty. It's still empty. There's something really wrong with this place. It's not real. This isn't real. I have to get out of here.
Do we need to turn it off? Can we just keep him alive until we've got the cipher?
The longer he's exposed to the computer model, the more he'll get hung up on it.
So, what's wrong with letting him settle in a little?
It would drive him insane. So let's keep the session short and the suffering to a minimum.
Yeah, we're not doing a great job of that, are we?
That wasn't so bad. Stromeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? What is this? Where am I?
Take a deep breath, Mr. Wan. Everything is fine.
Dr. Chun? What the hell is this place?
I need a favor. I need to know what the new security cipher is.
Why are you doing this? Is this some trick? I'm not giving you anything.
I'm trying to save a lot of people.
No, you're lying. This is all a lie. Look at this place. It's a fucking joke. Get me out of here, Chun, or I'll punch your teeth in!
I think we need to build the scene so it's more what he'd expect. As soon as he starts to doubt, we've lost him.
You're right. We need to think this through. We need some more data.
It was too much to ask for Catherine to say anything other than begin. Well, I mean, we've already established that she's a bit of a spurg. She can't really. She's probably the last person ever that you'd want to be doing this kind of thing. I'm assuming if the WoW can steal your scan in a pilot chair, it can inject a scan also. Well, do you mean it, like, what do you mean? Because that's kind of what it's done to all the Mockingbirds, like, that we find out, that steals the scan and then injects them into the robots, presumably through the pathway of the chairs are using, because the chairs are using to pilot said robots. So you might need to be a bit more specific if you're talking about something else. Anyway, next one.
That wasn't so bad. Stromeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? Where did he... Alice?
Congratulations, Mr. Wan. The scan was successful.
Chun? Where's Alice?
She left. Mr. Wan, I need you to give me the new security cipher.
What? Why? Why would you need that? This is the trick.
Please, this is important.
I knew you couldn't be trusted. None of this is real. But you won't break me, WoW. You hear me? You won't break me!
How many times are we gonna have to do this?
Come on, Simon. Don't give up now.
I think there's one more dialogue variation, so we'll just give that one more.
That wasn't so bad. Stromeyer really got me worked up, bastard. What? Where did he... Alice?
The scan is done. Are you feeling all right, Mr. Wan?
Chun? Where's Alice?
She's fine. We don't have much time, Mr. Wan. I need the new security cipher.
What? Why? Why would you need that? This is the trick.
No, it's okay. I promise.
I knew you couldn't be trusted. None of this is real. But you won't break me, WoW. You hear me? You won't break me!
Simon, we need something new to work with.
I mean, she says that, but, you know, I suppose we could keep running him. But I don't know if there's any more dialogue to get. There might be, but I'm not going to do it. We're going to go and see if we can find some more about Brandon Wan to influence him, shall we say. And as you might recall, we do know that he has a dorm here, so...
Here we go, Brandon Wan's room. I'll just override the lock for you. If we get to know him, maybe we can make the simulation a little smoother.
Brandon, I'm really a mess thinking about the scan. Everyone is being so brave. All smiles, no regrets. You know how you said you would hold my hand during the scan? If the offer still stands, I gratefully accept. If we do it together, we could suffer the hangover together as well. They say it takes a couple of days to recover. Kisses, Alice.
A letter from someone named Alice. They were together during the scan. You know her?
He was close with Coster. I would not have expected that. Can we use that somehow? Keep looking.
There's his ID badge. Oh, are we back? Oh, we're back. Cool, cool. I'm not sure what happened then. My OBS cracked the shits. I have no idea why. Hasn't ever done that before, so... Good, we're back. Sorry about that, everyone. Let me just put my stuff back together here and we will crack on with it. I don't know where we got up to, so I will start this log again. If you missed before that, we were just looking through Brandon 1's room for stuff, and we started reading these logs. Akers finally agreed to evacuate Delta. Goya, Krier, and I moved into Theta today. Akers said he'd stick around for a while longer. That crazy bastard. I take pride in my work, but goddamn, that place is miserable since the surface stopped sending parts. Apparently I dropped when I was picked up his picture. So there's the picture of him with Alice, and there's him with his parents. So there we go. And then we move straight to the terminal here.
Alice and Brandon were definitely together during the scan.
Good to know. Maybe we can use that somehow.
Did my ARC scan together with Alice. Strohmeyer told me that the hangover would basically kill me. Such an asshole. I was fine at first, but got a splitting headache a couple of hours later. The biggest pain was that Chun girl. She is so fucking uncomfortable at all times it makes my skin crawl. Yeah, apparently Catherine gives Brandon the ick big time. Strohmeyer went ballistic and shut down all future scans for the ARC project. Apparently Conrad wanted in on the continuity and just fried himself right in the pilot seat after the scan. Something tells me we'll be getting new security ciphers. Yep, we sure did. Just heard that the Komorebi survey team is going to Delta and pick up Akers. That's nice English there, Brandon. He's been alone for months now. Can't imagine what he's been up to. Well, we know what he's been up to. He played 1,610, I believe, games of chess, and then carved his eyes out after drinking too much structure gel. Good old Akers. Fairchild Award for Achievements of the Engineering Youth. Very few. Presumably some pictures from where he's from. Yeah. I think Brandon liked to travel a bit. Well, let's have a listen to the log.
Brandon, you ready to go? Strohmeyer says it's time to move.
I'm waiting for Stratsky and Alvaro to pack up their stuff. Head downstairs and I'll meet you there.
Don't take too long.
Don't worry, we're right behind you.
I think I just heard Alice talking to Brandon on the intercom. Seems like they were getting ready to leave.
You got that from the intercom? Must be a transmission buffer. Hang on. Great, this is exactly what we need. I think we got this, Simon. I can synthesize Alice's voice from the intercom and use it to impersonate her for the simulation. We can trick them into feeling safe enough to open up.
Great. Definitely feeling good about this.
Good job with the intercom. I didn't know you could data mine. What's it like?
It's just something that I do now.
So it comes naturally to you. That's really interesting.
Yeah, I'll make sure to add it to my dating profile.
I don't think that's going to help somehow, Simon. Yeah, So we'll go back and run the simulation. Just give this one more check just in case we get another appearance from... I think that was Acres we saw in here. No. Back to torturing digital Brandon. Yeah, this door wasn't open before, much like the main door that we saw in the entrance. So I do like the little touches, the way the environment changes, and it's not just Theta where this happens, there's other places as well. A couple of things happen in Omicron like that, but we'll...
I compiled an Alice module that we can use.
So she'll be with Brandon in the simulation?
Sort of. I'll still need to do the talking, but it'll sound and look like Alice.
I was about to say we'll talk about that when we get to Omicron. But this sounds entirely ethical, so let's go ahead and do it. I think there is a whole nother set of dialogue for these places, so I'll play one. Maybe if the second one's the same as the first, we'll skip the third. But yeah.
That wasn't so bad.
Second one's the same as the first, we'll skip the third, but yeah.
Alice, what happened to the room?
What do you mean? Nothing's changed. Everything is A-okay.
Why are you acting like this?
Me? Why are you acting like this?
Whoever you are, you better get the fuck out of here.
Don't be upset. I need your help.
Well, what the hell is this? What have you done to me? What have you done to Alice? If she's hurt, I'm fucking it.
Oh, we had a whole bunch of frame drops. I think my something's on the fritz. We should be back. We're having good luck today, are we? Yeah, I know, right? Murphy's Law.
Does anything carry over? I mean, could he remember this hell we're putting him through?
The simulation never affects the scan pattern. Each time is a fresh start.
That's a little comforting, I suppose.
You can hear me, but the game froze. Should... OBS reckons it's alright. Does look alright. Restream reckons it looks alright. Let's try another one.
That wasn't so bad. Stroma really got me worked up, bastard. Wow. What the hell happened? Where are we?
Welcome to the Ark.
We made it? I didn't realize it would work this way.
Just one thing.
What do you mean?
You know how Theta got a new security cipher?
Yeah. The WoW lockout.
I need that key. It's the only way to save the rest of the staff.
Wait, this is crazy. You're not Alice.
That's not true. I'm Alice.
No, you're lying. This is a trick.
Mr. Wan, I need you to calm down.
This is fucking cold using Alice like that. Get out of my face.
Calm down. I just need the cipher.
I'm not giving you anything. Take me back to Theta now. I'm not having any more of your bullshit.
Please let this be over soon.
Alright, well, for the sake of completion, we'll do the last one before we do the right one.
That wasn't so bad. Stroma really got me worked up, bastard. What happened to the room?
Do you like it?
Alice, where are we?
We made it. It's the Ark. But I need to ask you something.
What? What's happening?
Brandon, we need the new security cipher.
You're lying. You're not Alice. What did you do to her? What's going on here? Why are you doing this?
give us the cipher already.
Yep. I don't know if there's any more variations that we can get, but I think we've given Brandon a hard enough time, so we'll do the right combo.
That wasn't so bad. Stromeyer really got me worked up, bastard.
Well, that's what you get for listening to his stories.
I guess I had it coming.
About Stromeyer. He's sending you to the new cipher ASAP. What should I tell him?
It's alright. I can talk to him.
Wait, didn't Sean just tell you to take it easy? Don't worry, I'm not gonna tell anyone.
I do feel hungover. Okay. It's 1729 over 42, 12 over 407. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm sorry, Mr. DeLong. Brandon. Goodbye.
No, wait.
That's enough. We got what we need.
Is that what we are? Simulations?
Yeah, but it shouldn't make any difference. You're still you. I'm not sure what to do with the data. You decide.
So you have a choice here. You can erase it or shut down. I don't know what happens if you just walk away. I don't think I've ever seen someone do that, so let's just walk away.
Simon, we got it. We can get to the Dunbat now. Get back here.
Yeah. Oildrain.jpg. Not my problem. Just to confirm, is this still okay? Like you said, it was kind of delayed.
Catherine, couldn't we just have extracted the cipher from Brandon's data somehow? It's so cruel bringing him back like we did.
No, that's impossible. Memories don't work like that.
Let's just hope it was worth it.
Oh, it was, Simon. It sure was. All good? Okay, thank you.
There you are. Just warming up the Dunbat for us. It's been collecting dust for months, so it might need a minute. Okay, that's it. That's everything. Let's go ahead and... Huh. That's weird. Huh. Never mind.
What do you need me to do?
Head inside the dock. The Omnitool can open the door now. And get into the Dunbat. Then plug me in, and I'll take us into the Abyss.
Sounds easy enough.
Foreshadowing. So we'll do as she says. Then there's some interesting things to talk about with the Dunbat. There it is. And you can see covered in the structure gel growth things. Kind of cool. But you gotta turn it on though. Got the order for this. Oh, that button. That right? Was it? No. It's a bit embarrassing. Oh, that's right, I remember. Duh. Could actually plug it in. That'll do it. Boomed it. Boomed it already. Yeah, so the Dunbat wasn't very happy, was it? Now we don't actually know who is the Mockingbird here. There is a list of people who it could be, but it was never really confirmed. Given the hostile reaction to Catherine, you might suspect it's Brandon. I suppose it's not entirely impossible, but in all our dealings with Brandon in the simulation, I don't think he ever actually calls her by her first name. It's always Chun. So it would be a bit out of character for Brandon's, but still we couldn't necessarily rule it out. But there are other people who it could be. But yeah, we don't know for sure. Selling a 2085 Dunbat fair condition run up. 50 liters of structure gel, no low ballers, I know what I got. Yeah, you'd be killing it on a particular gunbroker site, I tell you. Yeah. Anyway, this presents a slight problem for us, doesn't it? As you can see, we're stuck here. We have to go up this crawl space. And here is where Theta begins to get exceptionally unpleasant. Just a level transition there. Foreshadowing. Yeah, we're about to get very well acquainted with Terry Akers. And we're actually about to learn a lot about Terry Akers, which is the more interesting part. Although Terry as an enemy has some very unique behavior that's worth mentioning as well. Another WoW flower that we're not going to use. And something very, very interesting here. Now we can plug Catherine in, but let's just have a quick look here. So you can see here, the Ark is currently located in Tau. Now we already figured that out when we searched for it in Lambda. But what you don't see here, and I mentioned it earlier, is Site Alpha, which is not on any of the maps that the regular staff get access to. I've decided to finalize the Ark with the scans we have. I'm sorry for all of you who wanted to go, but didn't get a chance to scan yourself before the project was put on hold. It's been 2 months since I've added a scan, and I don't see how I'll ever be able to win back the support you all showed me when we started the project. I'm sorry. I never meant for anyone to take their lives. It was never my intention to fool anyone. I just wanted to save something. Dr. Catherine Chun. Isn't Alpha to the north in the map? No, it's not. We look here. I'm not sure what that is supposed to be. The only thing I can think of it is that A is actually the A in Omega. because the Omega space gun has a surface platform attached to it that is called Omega. So I can only assume that's what that is, but it is definitely not Alpha. I know that much. And we got a bit of a checklist here from Catherine, so you can see this sort of confirms who is accompanying her to take the Ark to get fired into space. Now they presumably took the shuttle to Omicron, and their plan for getting it to the space gun was to take the power suits right into the abyss and so on and so forth. So, yeah, and the last thing we got here is an Ark attitude survey. So a bit different to the survey that we saw earlier. Let's take a look. Recently, it was decided that the Ark project would become Pathos 2's last official commitment. The staff has been urged to carry on with their duties despite Earth's catastrophic condition. I think the Ark project is the most logical step towards saving mankind, and that we should spend as much time and resources as needed to complete it. Now, this questionnaire I find actually far more interesting than the other one, at least. I suppose the other questionnaire is interesting when you get to the second version of it and what it means when you get to the second version, but this one you can actually answer, because obviously the first time we took the other survey, it was from the perspective of you being already on the Ark. Now we're not on the Ark, whereas this one's a survey about your disposition towards it. And you can sort of, if we put ourselves in the shoes of the Pathos 2 personnel who might be taking this, we can kind of answer it from that respect. And, if I was in their shoes, it does make you think about it, right? Because what you're effectively doing is sending a bunch of digitized consciousnesses, in a walled garden, for lack of a better term. Like the Ark has finite capacity. You can see some of the environments that were already described for it, and at face value they do seem quite limited. Now Catherine does say it's perfectly immersive, but then you go, well, to what extent? Now we know it's loaded up with a bunch of scans. Scans appear to take quite a bit of storage. So if there's 30, 40, I think that if you assume they pick up some more people on the way, you've probably got 30 or 40 people on there, possibly up to 50. So, how much storage is there left? Now, given the supposed thousands of years they might have, you could say, okay, well, they can potentially extend and rearrange the environments that they have. But, how far can they actually take it? And so, yeah, brings a lot of interesting questions to think about here. I'm going to say I agree. I mean, given that there's pretty much nothing else going on and that the whole place is inevitably going to fall apart, might as well. To embark, every passenger needs to be flushed with electromagnetism using a pilot seat. These scanning sessions are known to cause nausea and headaches, sometimes lasting up to 3 days. I think temporary physical discomfort, no matter how severe, is a small price to save mankind. Well, I mean, that would be rather unpleasant, but in the context, I would say, yes, that is fine. These questions are a bit loaded, to be fair. The Ark is built to fit a Ranger Mark 7 probe, meaning it could be shot into space with the Omega space gun, and technically survive for thousands of years, living off the light from our sun and distant stars. I think the Ark should leave Earth behind and be launched into space. Well, we know from, I think it was what we saw at Upsilon, that the generators, the thermal plants at Upsilon, are really only good for, at best case, 20 to 25 years. And that's assuming that the damage that the WoW is doing to the facility doesn't reduce that in some fashion. Now you could argue, well, there's a case to be made that the WoW already intervened on that respect and might continue to do so, but you couldn't necessarily take that as granted. So in the context of that, 20 to 25 years, best case scenario that we can bank on, burst thousands of years in the stars. So, the digitalization of humanity is an opportunity to make a quantum leap in our own evolution. The people inside the Ark will, out of necessity, be generated from existing genetic code, but could be altered to allow for cosmetic changes, ease aging, and even prevent death. I think we are at risk of losing our humanity if we were to rid ourselves of disease and our mortality. Which is a very interesting question, because if you think about it, a lot of what makes us human is, and certainly a good chunk of what makes us an actualized person, is the struggles that we go through in life. So, like the I think it's actually called something else. Like, there's a proper name for the experiments, but the mouse utopia experiments, where they using test mice basically freed them of all adversity, and it destroyed the society. So, you ended up with the what they call them, the beautiful ones, which are like the last crop of mice. Like, they weren't breeding; they were the last ones left alive, and they were all immaculately groomed. But ultimately, their mouse society had completely fallen apart and ended. So you can make the case here that freed from these constraints that are very intrinsic to our makeup and our psychology, that it could potentially have an adverse outcome for everyone involved. So I think ultimately, unless you were to simulate some factors, some adversity, something that gives people struggle in a meaningful sense, things like pain or hardship or stress or those kinds of things, you would likely lose your humanity, or at least humanity as we know it. Now, I'm not saying it would necessarily decay and fall apart. There's a lot of variables that we're not familiar with just by nature of the being digitized and everything, but I would have to, I wouldn't necessarily probably if there was another step between strongly and agree, I'd be in there. So NPC says, yep, know about that. Having a test colony that had enough resources versus one with not enough resources and spacing. Yeah. Don't scan me if the scan can't drive home after a few gauntlets. Yeah, that's it. There are only 58 people left alive to be stored inside the Ark. A way to diversify and expand the population would be to introduce artificial intelligences that would in every way appear to be human, but with childlike and naive sensibilities. As we continue to explore the nature of intelligence, we may find a way to make them smarter in the future. So the question is, I think even an inferior group of artificial people would benefit our society. Now, this one is also very interesting for multiple reasons. I don't think we've come across it yet, but the WoW itself somewhere is described as having very childlike intelligence, which is kind of relevant. But this would be sort of a fascinating experiment were it at all possible. If you think about it, they can produce something like a person, like copying parts of the brain scans that are in the Ark to create hypothetically, if two people in there wanted to have children, they could make some kind of composite brain scan construct. I suppose there's probably a lot to think about on the practicality of that, and yes, they could do it, but how do you, surprise, someone just popped into existence, but we don't know everything they need to be a functional mind at that point of their existence. It would that I don't know. I could only posit that you'd want to do quite a number of experiments before even considering doing that kind of thing in anger. Now, another question is, if you're creating an inferior group of people, sort of a subclass or second-class citizens, that's its own kettle of ethical worms. But then, like, would they always be like that? Do they actually have the potential to become fully actualized beings in their own right? It's a very interesting thought. I mean, in the context of this, it's something I'd be willing to entertain to a point. But I'm not sure if this would ultimately be a good thing for the society, or, you know, whether the ethical quandaries could really be resolved in a positive way. I'm not so sure. It's but it is very interesting to think about. So I'd probably throw myself in the agree basket, just that I think it needs more thought, more testing and investigation. Now, I actually don't know if this is based off of the what the developers decided the results from the crew are, or if this is like a metagame thing where it's based off everyone who's like that, you know, telemetry within the game, everyone who's playing it. So I'm not quite sure. It would be fascinating if this is a metagame thing, because if you look about it, the results, like, people vastly agree that the arc is worthwhile and that it does have meaning and it's worth pursuing. Where it gets more interesting is around the inferior companions. You see a lot of... it's very split. Like, if you think about aggregating the agrees and disagrees, it's right down the middle. Right down the middle. So, and you know that the largest one is obviously the disagree. Probably for many of the reasons I already elaborated on. Pain for gain, yeah, I mean, 96% agree in some fashion, makes sense. It's not, you know, 3 days of feeling kind of shittier are not the end of the world. And the artificial evolution, so the changing ourselves and whether that would make us, or make us drift away from what it means to be human. You can see that the 56% of people agreed that it would change us, which is not a massive majority, but it is a majority. So, very interesting results. Very interesting results. And thank you for humoring me while I ponder these questions. But this is one of the reasons why I really like this game. Like, that it gets you thinking about a lot of very interesting topics, and topics that many find very uncomfortable. Personally, I don't find these. I actually find them very fascinating. But that's just me. Anyway. Don't think there's much else to do here until we wake Catherine up, so let's get on with that.
Huh? Wait, this isn't... Oh no! WoW got to the Dunbat before we did, am I right?
Well, it was talking. That's rarely a good sign.
Damn it. The Dunbat was our best shot. I was really banking on this to work.
Come on, we can't quit now. There's gotta be another way. How do you think you did it? How did the team get the Ark down the Abyss in the first place?
If they didn't use the Dunbat, the only other way would be the climber at Omicron. It's like an elevator which supposedly reaches all the way down into the Abyss.
Okay, so we do that. We go to Omicron and take the elevator.
Yeah, okay. Sure. We'll just head over to Omicron and hope there's a power suit that fits you. You know, so you don't implode while in the Abyss.
That does sound useful.
Alright, let's go then. Wait, what is this place? Seems to be a lot of information on the Ark here. There's a prototype and everything.
Okay.
Let's start it up. I want to see how it works. Maybe we can figure out how to get on the Ark.
You didn't know how to get us on?
How difficult could it be?
So she says.
Start an Ark simulation. I want to see how it works. Get an Ark simulation going.
NPC says, and on the matter of metaphysics, if a soul is a thing, does a digital construct have one, or a kind of afterlife of sorts when they go from 1 to 0? Yeah, that's not like we could probably talk on that topic all night. I mean, I would say in short, assuming there would be some kind of soul, I don't think it could possibly transfer in that manner. I mean, one of the biggest problems we've kind of haven't overcome in SOMA, and I don't believe it actually directly addresses it at all, and I think I touched on it briefly in my last stream, is we actually don't have any proof that any of these simulated persons, you know, be it the Mockingbirds or the ARC scans or anything, are actually truly sentient in any meaningful sense. I mean, like, to us, the outside observer, as we play through this game, we actually take that for granted, but we really shouldn't, because they could just be operating under a fixed set of parameters, and we wouldn't necessarily know any different. They, for lack of a better analogy, they could just be a sufficiently complex program that can mimic human behavior and potentially some degree of agency to an extent that to us as the observer appears human. But for all we know, or like from an internal operations point of view, it could just be a machine without true agency that is just reacting to stimuli. I mean, again, you could actually technically make that, if you want to be reductionist about it, you could make that argument about humans, again, from what I mentioned earlier, in that we are experiencing everything we experience with latency, which means we think and do things before we even think and do things. However, if you combine that with the metaphysical discussion, I think you would ultimately have to conclude that they likely couldn't have any kind of soul or anything like that. But there is a lot of discussion and argument to be had along the way to that. So I don't think I could necessarily hang my hat on it, but I would just point out you couldn't make a strong case one way or the other without resolving some very significant problems. Pretty sure Simon would be fine at any depth. He shouldn't have blood and air in him. Well, so you say, but and kind of topical actually, because we're actually about to find a bit more about Simon. So just hold on to your hat. Whitechapel says, I always just thought we were running into character cards in ChatGPT. Yeah, kinda, exactly. I mean, there's no way technically for us to know at all. It reminds me, and this will get me on my soapbox for a bit, so just please bear with me. I came across a music channel that uses generative AI to make songs. Now, I don't have a problem with this at all. I mean, as I mentioned, my music is a combination of generative AI and stuff I make myself with samples, soft synths, and instruments. However, the creator at no point disclosed that they were using generative AI, and then I see comments on one of their videos of people discussing the voice as if it were a person singing and saying, how did you get your voice to sound like that? Well, short answer, they didn't. It was generative AI. But to the people listening, clearly they had no idea. Like, the song wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like garbage AI slop. It was a decent song. I actually don't mind the music. But to those people, it was frankly just the same as if someone had made it themselves. They had no idea, and we could certainly perceive ourselves in this game reacting to these mockingbirds and other constructs in the same fashion. Like, it's good enough to fool us, so yeah. And I know it's a game limitation, but the guy earlier did exactly the same thing over and over when simulated. Yes, and that's you're right, and thanks for picking that up, and that's sort of another reason why I take the sort of positions I do here when discussing these things is, given a fixed set of input, even you or I, if you could make an experience for us exactly the same every single time, like, you know, write down time of day, state of mind, like repeat an exact moment over and over again, you would likely get deterministic output, or at least something very, very similar to it, which I don't know if that necessarily helps my case, but it certainly muddies the water even further. It's a very, very interesting and complex topic, and I'm certainly no great philosopher or like a doctor on how minds work. I just really like thinking about these things. Anyway, enough of my rambling. Let's move on.
Get an arc simulation going. Get an arc simulation going.
Okay, Catherine, let's do that. We need to plug this in. Yeah, it's not in good shape, is it? Actually can't remember everything we need to pull out, which is the problem. Oh, we don't need soft physics. Who needs soft physics? I suppose we need rigid. And here's a name drop. You know, package SOMA HOM, presumably for human. SOMA, I would assume, is meaning body here, like it can. Don't need a boat. Don't need a river. Or do we? Oh, we need the type water. There we go. Okay, so we do need the river. I guess we don't need the chair. Don't need clouds. There we go. Cool. Didn't take me too long.
Try loading a dummy scan. Shouldn't be that difficult. I just want to make sure I understand how the scan data is formulated before we start messing around with the real arc. Run the simulation and then hit pause while the code is running. It'll give me a cross-section of the process.
We could. I actually don't recall what happens if you try and upload something else. I think she just complains and doesn't let you do it, but let's try.
Better not use real data. I don't want to repeat what we did to Brandon.
Second that.
Well, all the legacy scans are incompatible anyway, so there we go. So we just need to slow it down and then pause it when it gets to the dummy scan.
Yes, of course. So precise, so perfect.
Nothing like admiring your own work.
What? Oh, right.
So now we know how to get on the Ark, right?
Kind of.
What?
It's just I don't really know what you are. Maybe there's a way to plug you in, or maybe scan somehow. We need to figure this out before we leave.
Yeah, just leave running. Why not?
Take a look around the room. Must be something here that can help us. Look around the room. Look around the room.
Yes, we shall. Let's go have a look here first. Oh, just some sticky notes for the crew.
That's Phi, all right. Quick stop at Omicron, then Tau, then Phi.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry to anyone who might be triggered right now about the pronunciation. Anyway, you can see their proposed route here. And here's a photo of the crew.
Wow, that's so cool. It's the whole gang.
A crew photo? Really? Who are you saving this for? The world was dead.
Thanks, Simon. I thought being an asshole wasn't invented until the 22nd century. Now I know better.
Jiff. Yeah, I'm probably the worst one for this because I think Jiff just doesn't sound natural or right at all. But then by the same token, I'll be like the only one in the room who says like jibbed instead of gibbed. So yeah. And here we go, a direction for a Haimatsu power suit, which we see referenced in their plans. They need to be powered, and they are a suit. One might even say it sounds fun. I hope you get a slap over the head for that one. Anyway. Got another wow flower over there that we don't need. Omni-tool thing.
What's this thing?
That's just a compound examiner. Coster uses it to investigate structural integrity in payload frameworks.
Of course.
Could you fit inside it? If I knew what you were made of, it would be a hell of a lot easier to figure out how to get you on the Ark.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, with the warning that big, you know this is going to be good.
Bit of a tight fit.
Can you reach the on switch?
Should I be worried about radiation?
I think we're beyond that. Interesting. You seem to be one with the diving suit you're wearing. Everything's meshed together.
How's that gonna work with the suit we're picking up at Omicron?
I think they're bigger. You should be able to wear them both.
Imogen? Who's that?
It looks like the basis for your body is one of my old colleagues. A standard Cortex chip for robots, including the data reader and the OcuTorch, has just been forced through the skull.
What?
Structure gel has fused the whole construction together. Amazing stuff.
No, hold on, back up. I'm one of your old colleagues?
Well, your body is. Imogen Reed.
That's disgusting.
Hey, don't say that. She was nice to me. Anyway, the Cortex chip is good news. That means we can transfer your mind to the Ark with a pilot seat.
Kath, I'm half a dead person.
Yes, it makes sense. Think about it. All those simplistic minds we've run into, just reviving a dead person doesn't seem to work that well. A robot body seems to make people a bit unreliable. You are the best of both worlds. A sound mind and a sound body.
Are we done here? Can we go to Omicron and get my new suit now?
Yeah, we should get going.
Relationship confirmed, no. Again, I don't think so. Given Catherine's awkward nature, I don't think she actually really had any friends at all. Like, Strasky was just nice to everyone, but, you know, you could even say potentially he's not a friend in the true sense. Lindwall, maybe there's a case for Lindwall. Anyway, so we found out some very interesting stuff there. We found out that Simon is actually a corpse, or at least some bits jammed into a corpse. You saw the battery pack like jammed into the torso, and then the top half of the skull missing, and then a Cortex chip jammed into it and crammed into a diving suit and flooded with structure gel. Which, again, makes the question of Simon's creation all the more interesting, because, you know, based on the terminal that we saw next to the pilot seat where Simon woke up, the WOW was logging into it, but we only see one dead robot in the room, and it doesn't have a Cortex chip. So, you know, one would have to assume that the Cortex chip was taken from that robot and then jammed into the Simon suit and sealed and flooded with structure gel and then sealed. And the question is, how on earth did that possibly happen? So, yeah, just things to think about. The other interesting thing there is we also know that Imogen Reed was the one who shut down the reactor, well, not the reactor, the thermal plant, I should say. Can we call it a reactor? I don't think so. The thermal plant. She was the one who shut down the thermal plant in order to try and kill the WoW. Now, the WoW seems to have repurposed her body to make Simon. Now, there'll be more to say on that probably next stream. Anyway, let's continue on.
Want to bring this Ark as a backup?
No, that wouldn't work. This is just a prototype.
Good. I prefer to travel light.
Let's go. Don't forget to take me with you.
Well, this is going to be our last bit of safety for quite a while. As soon as we go through this door, the game is about to get very unpleasant again. So let's do this. Yep, there's Acres.
Strohmeyer.
Brand, where are you?
It got out of hand. I'm in sector RD4. Did you get everyone downstairs?
Yeah, we're safe for now. But you need to get moving. They're gonna figure out where we are and come for us.
Don't worry about it. The stairs are blocked, and I killed the elevator. Pulled the connector chip from the lock.
Fine. That means you're stuck as well.
Only way to keep you guys safe. Take the shuttle, go to Omicron.
God damn it, Juan. You just had to be the hero, you bastard.
Good luck, sir. Tell Alice I love her.
It's missing a chip or something.
Yeah. So we got a little map here. You get lost. But we got some exploring to do. And we're going to be interrupted every now and then by Acres, which will be a bit annoying. But such is life. And you can see more of these living people in the mine coral, as it's known. Now, Acres is very interesting. He actually has some very unique behavior, like scripted behavior, largely. And you see a body in there. And I think that's Acres at the end of the hallway there. Or maybe I'm just seeing things. Might have been seeing things. Anyway, Acres actually has some very unusual behavior in that he'll sort of semi-despawn if you're far enough away from him. And you can hear him climbing through vents and stuff. There are a few actions that you can take that will guarantee aggro him, which is actually very rare. It's not... there's only... I think one other enemy that, like, has that kind of guaranteed aggro outside of a scripted event. Obviously, the fleshes are scripted to chase you, but... yeah. The other enemy that, like, always aggro's on you, we don't meet till the end of the game. So, survival of the fittest. Now you can hear Acres in the vents there. Let's have a listen.
Sarah, how the hell are we going to make sure the Ark makes it?
Every launch is a crapshoot, you know that.
I just wish these numbers looked better.
What do you care? It's just a pack of data, right?
Yeah, just a pack of data.
So they're arguing over the launch, because the launch is not a guaranteed success. But, yeah. Pretty sure these are just dead ends. Yeah. Just ways to lose Akers if he gets on your case. Which, as you might recall, he has Gamer Hangman. Reen asks, what is the red coral? So that is a very good question, and I'm not going to answer it just yet. Just outside of based on what we've seen so far from Delta, when we know that Akers injected people with structure gel and they appear to have grown that, so Akers is related to it in some fashion. But we don't actually know what the red coral is yet, and we will find out shortly, so I'll answer that properly when we get to it soon. Conference room. These conference room slides are pretty nasty. You can actually assume that they're from, well, not this one obviously, but the surgery ones look like, yeah, here you go. This kind of looks like it might have been taken after when Akers arrived. Like that one could very well be from Akers himself, I don't know, maybe. Or they could be from the Lambda survey group, potentially, but I'm not sure. There might be an answer somewhere on the wiki or otherwise, I don't really know. Let's continue to look around. Medical lab. Gel consumption Akers. Initially reconstructive, unnatural growth, symbiotic attempts. So, seems like they were doing some study on the structure gel and what Akers is putting together. There's something that looks a bit nasty. I think Akers is coming for us now. Ah, yeah, there he is. Fuck off, Akers, I'm trying to talk about things. Go be annoying somewhere else. We'll just wait for him to come in so we can take a proper look at him. Bloody sounds he makes are really gross. And there he is. He's seen better days, old Akers. Why does the screen look like that when the thing's in the air? I mean, you could argue that it's for the horror effect, but it's presumably as a result of electromagnetic interference. Like, we know that the WoW does stuff with structure gel and electromagnetism, or maybe we don't yet, but I certainly know that. So, that's why all the various enemies and constructs make your electronics skits out like it does. I actually don't know if I'm safe on the bed or not. I just sort of climbed up here just because, as you've seen from the proxy earlier, if we do get too close or annoy them, they'll attack you, and it's kind of annoying, so I was just trying to avoid that. Anyway, you can see a whole bunch of that coral crap on this bed here, and there's a log, so let's have a listen.
Terry Akers, Chief Factor at Delta, first assessment. Brought in today, January
January 16, 2104. Reportedly found in his diving suit, unconscious, in the water. Akers has clearly been consuming large amounts of structure gel, for weeks probably. It's difficult to tell how this has affected his health beyond the obvious known limits, and if it somehow caused him to gouge out his eyes. Small amounts of gel have always been considered perfectly safe to handle, but I can't recall ever hearing about any recommendations on how to treat overexposure. Considering its properties, I doubt it's poisonous, but the more transformative aspects of the ferrofluid makes me think that malign cell mutations are to be expected. I think I will need to consult Dr. Eames at Omicron about this.
So, given the state of the bed and the blood trails and everything, we can kind of put two and two together that not long after that, Akers got up and went walkabout. And it leads here, where we see this body. And she was typing some reports, so let's have a read, starting with the first. Guy Conrad. Conrad is dead. He boiled his brain to a pulp with a WRM maser, following the ARC neuroscan. Clearly another continuity enthusiast killing himself to take his place on the ARC. Catherine Chun. As usual, Chun is quiet and does her best to avoid eye contact. She doesn't want to be here, but Strohmeyer demands another evaluation. Chun isn't obstinate or dishonest, but she'd rather not speak if it can be avoided. She has a hard time dealing with people in general, including doctors. Catherine Chun is weak in character, the perfect victim to be dominated and pushed around by others. She is a scared mouse I don't want to upset, so we sit quiet and pass the time. Do you hear flies? I think so. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So here you can see that Catherine's description is not very flattering of her real life self, but she seems to have taken to a virtualized self rather well. Vanessa Hart. Hart appears to be in good shape considering the circumstances. Only bruises and mild hypothermia caused by the long walk. It's difficult to corroborate her story as she is the only one to return. Now they're talking about the salvage team that was sent to Lambda, and if you've watched Transmissions you'll know who Vanessa Hart is. So she was apparently the one of the only survivors from that. Akers. One of the worst cases I've seen, and it's most likely his own damn fault. He blinded himself, clogged up his insides with structure gel. I'd be surprised if he ever woke up from the coma. Did make me think of Hart's absurd story about what happened at Lambda. Could it really be that the WoW is somehow able to change and rebuild the... And that was when Terry got her. Yep. I think that's about all the side areas. I think there's one more room we have to go into. Now you can break this window. There are two ways into this room. One is breaking the window, one is another way. If you break the window, it is a guaranteed aggro, as far as I understand it. Akers will make a beeline for you and try and break in. Speaking of Akers, if you could just not be there, Akers, that would be swell. Free! Fuck off, Terry. Let me get into the other room. Got crawling vents or something, you weirdo. Yep. He's in vents.
Strohmeyer, you there?
I hear you, Brandon. What do you got?
Akers and his critters are ferocious. They pick up on every move. There's no way past them.
Then we'll fight them.
We got to get to the shuttle.
And end up like Shank and Adams? No way. Listen, I'll create a distraction and pull them to me. Get the gang to the shuttle station.
Wait, Brandon, what are you doing?
Don't worry, Alice. I'll look back as soon as you guys are safe. Just load up the shuttle, be ready to go.
Are you sure about this?
I don't plan to die today, sir. See you at the shuttle.
Well, we know from the other buffer that it didn't quite work out that way. There's a personnel list. Akers is not alone. At least 3 proxy creatures. Check and seal doors. Move downstairs. Shuttle to Omicron. Checklist. Survive the Ark project. Stop people from killing themselves. Send off Z and the team. Keep people safe. Enjoy the rest of Armageddon. Yep, that was Strohmeyer's plan. So we can see a little doodad here. We'll come back for that later. A bunch of corrupted messages. Machine hangar, Jan 11th. Huge structure gel leak has caused the WoW to seize control over the Dunbat. Yep, we know. Forced to quarantine to avoid further development. Last thing we need is another talking machine. Yep. Anyway. What can we shut down? We don't really need storage. Yeah. So we've just unlocked that other room that we could have otherwise broken into. And you'll have to forgive me because I... Oops. I don't know my way around this area as well as I'd like, so I'll get turned around a little bit. Also, if Terry could just go somewhere else and stay there, that would be nice. Anyway, what's this? Brandon. Let's listen to his last moments.
You won't get me, motherfuckers! You hear me?
I'm sorry about before, Brandon. I'm sorry we couldn't let you rest in peace.
Yeah. So Brandon found his own way out, I guess. Damn it, Nikos. Now, if I recall, that the power going out either makes him more aggressive, or it does have some other bearing on his behavior. I just can't remember the specifics. I also vaguely recall that once you put this doodad in and get the security ciphers, that has something else as well. I think it actually just summons him to your location. Yeah, see, he's coming. I think we can kind of just sit here and he'll eventually get bored and wander off. So until then we'll just listen to him making gross sounds. You can see a good look at him. He's not looking great, old mate. I think he just despawned or went back into the vents. Now the other thing about Terry is, I mean, you probably figured out we've now got this chip that we can put in. This will guarantee spawn him. Yeah, when you, particularly if it's your first time playing that section of like getting the chip updated and coming back here and then that, yeah, it's pretty hair-raising. Simon doesn't have a very good time of it, does he? Always getting wrecked in some way or another. Now here's where we're going to learn more about the coral. Well, just a bit ahead. So, there's a few different ways this can play out, this section from memory. I think we actually just go through that other doorway, but I think it gives you a branching path. Or maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, there's a good look at him. Another moment that's pretty hair-raising if it's your first time.
Don't move. It's okay.
What?
It's over now. Relax.
Ashley? What are you doing here?
Hanging out, like couples do.
We're not...
You don't want me?
Yes, of course, but... What happened?
We fell in love.
Did we just get one? No, not quite. So let's talk about that for a bit. So you got a good close look at Akers. First thing I want to talk about, you can see that arm coming from his body. That's kind of why I think, and you know, if you remember the bed that he was being autopsied on, or whatever it was that they were doing to him, it's all coraled up, and he just grabbed us and jammed us in this coral as well. So, like, clearly this coral comes from somewhere, presumably from Akers himself, and that's why I think that the proxies are actually created beings, created by Akers, you know, with that extra arm growth on him. I think he actually spawned them himself. And, you know, the other logs tell us that he actually controls them and seems to hunt in a pack with them in some fashion, so, yeah. Now, the coral, so like we were jammed into coral and we started having dreams. Now, or Simon in real life was perma friend zoned till was it Ashley or whatever, till she died. But Simon was in a dream in there, and that's kind of why this is called mind coral. So we can sort of infer from that everyone who's stuck in this is actually dreaming, and I don't know if we'll be able to hear it, but you'll get some more evidence of that in just a sec. So we can tell from that, given that she was saying Brandon, that's probably Alice, and she's stuck in the mine coral dreaming. So with Acre's dialogue from I think it's the Zeppelin, you can he talks about how he wants to connect everyone to the WoW. Oh, it's Alice. You can see her ID. Ah, yeah. Why does Acres put you in there? So yeah, as I was saying, he consumed a lot of structure gel and believed that he was listening to the WoW, which in reality is, given what you see here and everything that happens, is probably accurate in some way. I think he took on his own interpretation of it. I don't, given what we know about the WoW, it's not necessarily a sentient AI. It doesn't have agency. It's just responding to its directives and whatnot. Again, there's a case you could make for that, there being more to it, but yeah. Anyway, so Akers believes that his whole mission is to save everyone by connecting them to the coral, so they can dream in peace and the WoW can sustain them and keep them alive. That's what Akers is trying to do. There's another one there. Now, I always get lost in this part, so you will have to bear with me. You can hear there's freaking proxies everywhere. That was blocked off. I think we aggroed him. Let's see if we can go around. And we are playing on safe mode because I really want to be able to talk about a lot of things without having to, multitask with trying to run and hide and all that jazz. And I want to have the leisure to explore and look at things. If I do this right, we should be able to swing by another couple of sleeping guys and that dead end. Dang it. Yeah. I always get lost in this one. We want to be able to find all the little things and talk about them, so that's why. This proxy could just get out of the way. That would be nice. Ah, another dreamer. I'm not sure why Simon can hear some and not others. I don't think it's ever actually explained in the game. Another WoW flower if you want one. Now, another funny thing about the proxies and the coral, there are unused animations for the proxies crawling and also falling down from the ceiling. So, as far as I understand it, the coral and everything was going to have more of a place. I mean, you can kind of see it, like we're getting some sort of body horror vibes here, and I think it in earlier versions it was going to be a lot more overstated than it is, and you would have proxies like dropping from the ceiling and then chasing you through vents and all that jazz, but it got cut or simplified along the way somewhere. Whitechapel says, feels like Ark and Mine Coral are two sides of the same coin. I guess you could make that case, although obviously with there's nuance there in that being jammed into the coral, it's still your original mind, whereas the Ark is a digitized copy from a brain scan. But from a practical, way to continue existing and living, that they certainly have that similarity. The only problem is that, at least up until this point, you have no indication that the WoW will resolve the power issue within the 20-25 years that the thermal plant will keep running. So, yeah. Continue on. Another proxy. See if we can get around him. Yeah, this part of the game, if you're playing it for the first time, and particularly if you're playing it on normal, I found this probably the second worst part of the game. There's a part towards the end of the game that is, particularly if you're not used to the enemy AI, it's extraordinarily unpleasant, but this was not far behind it. Crawling through the... Another dreamer. Crawling through all this coral and dodging proxies and stuff, it's pretty rough. Let's try and get past this one. Free. Another person there. You know, you do have to wonder whether the ones who you can't hear are actually truly alive, or if they're just on life support. Like, you know, if they're not audibly dreaming, are they really thinking or alive? Like, they could possibly be brain dead, for example. Did I miss something here? Yeah. Always get turn around in this part. I could have sworn we want to get down. Maybe this is just a place to lose the proxy in. Get another close look at this boy. He's pretty gnarly. What does it say? Recharge service battery. Hard to believe that we went all that way and there wasn't a path there. That doesn't seem right. Do apologize, you have to bear with me, it's been a while. What did I miss? Clearly I missed something. You can imagine this getting dead-ended in this like that when you haven't played this game before. Be pretty hair-raising. What am I missing? What am I missing? Next proxy is blasting a Bluetooth speaker on the train. Recharge service battery. Ah, that'll do it. It's right in front of me. This is real hard to do with low sensitivity. There we go. That's what we needed. Just thinking, is there anything else I can talk about with the proxies? Oh, there is actually one thing I can think of. So at one point, it's mentioned that they managed to kill one. Which presumably was a bit of a feat, but it's a shame we didn't keep the stun gun on the Zeppelin. We might have been able to. We couldn't kill him, we'd at least be able to give him a good old zap. Though, I've got a feeling if you try that on Akers, it might just make him very, very angry. I don't know why, but this section always reminded me of another game. It might have been a section from Mirror's Edge, actually, thinking about it. I should play Mirror's Edge on the channel at some point, I think. Yeah, another wildflower there. Emergency flush. Direct all personnel to stand clear before releasing the floodlock. What could go wrong, right? Oh, it's fucking Akers. Actually, forgot about that jump scare. So there we go, we managed to get out of Theta. There's a couple of things to talk about. First of all, that whole getting yeeted from that, you'll notice the line in my track Mockingbirds about tumbling across the sand. That was explicitly about Simon getting yeeted out of that tunnel. There's another couple of things I want to talk about before we look at this corpse some more. So originally, I mean, you heard Akers all that time. He was just gurgling and screaming, and it was all very unpleasant. He was actually going to telepathically talk to you potentially after you've been in the coral, but I don't know that to be for sure. But there's a bunch of unused lines available I think it's in the secret files of the game. And frankly, I think it's better that they left it out. Kind of cheapens him as a, in my opinion, because you have to piece together his motivations from all these logs, and then like you get to experience the coral and everything, and suddenly it clicks. Whereas if he was just like whispering at you the whole time, it would feel kind of weird. The other thing is, you notice we got flushed. Akers was right next to us. He probably should have got flushed too, but we don't see his body. Now, originally he was supposed to die. There's like dying sounds in the secret game files. I think they're in either, or you can open up the level editor or something and see them. So, yeah, at some point they thought he'd die here. But again, I'm actually kind of glad they left that out as well, because it makes it kind of ambiguous as to whether he's still, in Theta tending his quote-unquote flock, or if he actually got destroyed in that. And then, if he did, what are the implications for the proxies? Like, can they function autonomously, given that sort of likely relationship between Akers and the proxies as him being some kind of controller, or at least creator and influencer, given that he can influence them to sort of hunt together. And then like if they do get wiped out because of his death, what does that mean for everyone who's stuck in the coral? So yeah, much more interesting to talk about than if you just see like Akers' body out here. But anyway, we're about to get another log, so let's have a listen.
Holy shit, Hart blew up the O2 surplus. She sealed the tunnel.
She really didn't want Akers following us to Omicron.
Ah, shit, she's fucking hurt. Her suit is leaking.
We have to get her to Omicron.
Shit, it's bad, real bad.
Oh, fuck, no!
So that tells us a few things. Hart did meet an end, sadly, but she did seal Akers in Theta, which is probably a good thing. But we also learned that several people made it out. We know that Strasky and Alvaro and Thabo and also Jonesy, I think, actually made it out of Theta, and the rest were obviously caught and put in the coral. So, rip in peace. Let's go for a wander, shall we? And again, we're in one of these other just stunning underwater areas. I really can't gush enough about these things. They're just so beautiful. And more fish that look like they've been eating structure gel.
Alright, let's find Omicron.
So here we're going to find a bit more about what some of the Pathos 2 people were working on and doing, or like what is one of the functions of this facility, I guess you could say. So let's go read some of these, shall we? Oh, actually, I think we get the details from them later, maybe? But spoiler alert, these are all meant to be fish farms, but as you can see, they're all offline. Now, there are a few POIs, so for lack of a better term, that we want to hit. I think we'll try and do them in chronological order. Now, if you're experiencing this for the first time, there's a few sort of logs you'll pick up that help you piece together what happened, but you might hit them out of order, so I'll endeavor to give you the chronological order of playing them back, and we'll learn about what happened to those people who made it out of Theta.
This is Omicron? Hope they saved me a diving suit.
Sadly, we can see one of them right here, and that Omicron is offline, and there's a biohazard symbol on it, which doesn't bode well. That's been shuttered up, so let's have a listen.
in quarantine. This is why they didn't answer our call. Hello! Christ, Strasky, it's called a radio. They're not gonna hear you better if you scream.
Jonesy, are you okay? Look, I know you're the strong silent type, but I need you to say something every now and then so I know you're all right. Jonesy? Jones.
Fuck's sakes. Let's try the annex again. Maybe we can break in.
We're losing Jonesy. We need to get her inside.
Well, get in line! Alvaro, there's nothing we can do for her right now. Hit the stasis switch and let's check the annex.
Well, sadly, Jonesy didn't make it. Now, they mentioned that they're gonna check the annex. So, that outbuilding there would be the annex. And yeah, we've got, I forgot the name of these things there. We've seen a functional one of those outside of Lambda. But anyway, let's go to the annex. And here we have another body. You know, with all the fish and everything around, I find it hard to believe that there would still be this sort of desiccated face here. Like, surely it would be picked clean by now, given this likely happened months ago. But yeah, anyway.
It won't fucking open! And nobody's answering to anything! What kind of cold-hearted motherfuckers would just leave us out here to die?
Don't you get it? They're dead. They're all dead.
Yeah, you're right.
How can you be so calm about this shit? We are dying!
How much air have you guys got?
20 minutes, tops.
Hey, I'm in red. Seconds away before the CO2 gets me.
Stresky.
Why wait, right? I'm the master of my own fate.
Wait, Stress, what are you doing?
Rip. Well, we know what happened to Stresky there. Now, we're gonna find another body just down here. So let's have a listen and find out who this is.
The world is dead, Richard. Even if we got inside Omicron, what's left? Grab a couple suits and head for Tau? Strasky, Jonesy, Hart. Everyone is dead, and we are right behind them. We're probably the last people left alive. The last moments of mankind. No oxygen left. Better sit down. Don't want to fall into the abyss.
There are worse ways to die. Probably. Why they call you M?
Huh? Oh, it's for Emma.
Emma Alvaro. I like that. It's a good name. We should have hung out more. I think we would have made good friends.
Thanks. I would have liked that.
Goodbye, Emma.
Bye.
Yeah, so sadly Alvaro didn't make it either. Now the most interesting part of that is there is no body here for Thaber. Now, as far as I understand it, there is some leftover stuff in the game files that suggests that he made it inside of Omicron somehow. Which, given the state of everything at the moment, is probably not that likely, especially, you know, given it was cut. the other alternative is, given that he's not anywhere else around here, is he just took a dive off the edge here, or I think one other YouTuber suggested that he sort of sat on the edge until he passed out and dropped off into the abyss. So, pretty grim. Pretty grim indeed. While we're here, and next to the drop to the abyss, you might recall when we drop off at Delta, the K8 rescues us. I actually don't remember what happens. I think we might just straight up die if we drop here, so let's just give it the old college try. Well, there you go, our first and probably only death of the run. Yeah, pretty morbid, that death scene. I mean, you'd say reenacting Titan. Oh, that's mean, but also kind of funny. Didn't give us any of the death scenes. That's a shame. No. Anyway, folks, we have been at it for 3.5 hours, and I'm kind of tired. It's getting late, and I might call it a night. And it's probably a good place to stop, because I'd like to go into Omicron with some notes and being fresh and be able to talk about the many things we can talk about inside of Omicron. There is a lot to go over. So thank you very much for joining me for part 2 of this SOMA stream. I hope it has been at least interesting. And once again, we have talked a lot about SOMA, but also about my album, Crush Depth. So just to reiterate one last time, I make dark electronic music using a mixture of generative AI and played instruments and software synthesizers and samples. This whole project owes its existence to SOMA, in that my first album, Crush Depth, was made as a sort of love letter to SOMA. It wasn't intended that way at the start. I had some old lyrics, I jammed them into Suno, and I got something out. But I was also at the time watching a playthrough of SOMA, and I just got a stroke of inspiration. It all kind of clicked together. So I completed that first song, made it more aquatic themed. The first song that I made was Grafted, and it's probably the least relevant to SOMA, but you could still say it is relevant to SOMA. And it's really about the codependence, not just between Catherine and Simon as they progress through the story, but you could extend it to be anyone who is connected to the Mind Coral or otherwise interfacing with the WoW in a sense as well. But yeah, it all wouldn't exist, at least in its current form, if it wasn't for this wonderful game. So thank you again for joining me on this journey through one of my favorite games of all time. I hope everyone has a very good week ahead. Take care, and we'll see you hopefully next weekend. Let me look at, yes, hopefully next weekend at about the same time, and I think we'll probably get through the rest of the game in the third stream. Thank you all, take care, we'll see you then.